Welcome to a best of 7 in the winners final of Nations Cup, a tournament that was completely crowdfunded by the community. I think it's about 15,000, pretty big deal. And we've got the two favorites to maybe win this whole thing here in the winners final. We're catching up to live time. Okay, so and my apologies for the bigger trees here. I will fix that for future games. Oh my. Okay. That's been the Nations Cup experience. We have a restart from Finland, so we're not going to miss anything. We're not going to miss anything, guys. They're going to restart it with the same civilizations. I believe it's possible we are actually starting this series. It has taken some time, but ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the winners finals of Nations Cup. So I've covered some Nations Cup already. I do want to just explain what this is because we have two of the favorites to win the whole thing, okay? And this is the winners bracket final. So what this is not is the grand final. The loser between these two teams today will move on to the losers bracket final and have a chance to get to the grand final if they win that. But it's a pretty big deal because if you win this series, you go to the grand final automatically, so you don't have to play another important series. And then you start with one win in that grand final. And I think it is likely that after a week or two, however long it takes, we might see Finland versus Canada in that grand final. Finland was the favorite coming into this tournament. They're still the slight favorite in this series, though I think Canada has really looked good. I'm excited to see them. I'll start with the Finns. We've got Rubenstock playing as the Koreans all alone down here on this Nomad start in African clearing. And his teammates are around the map. You've got Valis here. Valis is playing as the Gurjaras. You'll notice that he is pretty close to Hera for Canada, so that'll be fun watch. In the left corner, we have a player who is going to be hugely important here in this series, but also this game, and that is Veleza. Veleza is the best Finnish player these days. You'll notice Max, his teammate, he didn't want to walk across the map with his villager. So Max is a villager here. And guys, if Max drops off that food at Veleza's TC, that goes into Max's resource bank. It's a nifty little nomad trick. But anyways, having Vietnamese, Veleza will know where all the enemy TCs are, and he'll be communicating that. And then last but not least, we have the Max. And Max is a beastly team game player. He's kind of over here on his own. He's playing as the Hindustanis. Now, Canada has the benefit. I really like how this is shaping up for their positions, where they have two players together, and then the other players are separate, where they could maybe do more feudal aggro. In the blue, we have Slam. Last time we saw Slam, Slam was beastly as the Mayans. And next to him is Chinese for Chris. I mean, the civilizations, to me, feel way stronger for African clearing for Canada, just with those two already. And plus, they are next to each other, able to protect each other and whatever. On the right side, then, we've got Mentalist playing as the Huns. So he's the furthest away from anyone for Team Canada. And then again, last but not least, you have Hera playing as the Mongols, and Hera is next to the enemy. Now, Canada will not know where the positions are for Finland. It is easier for Finland to make an assessment of the situation and formulate a game plan on how they play this. Whether that be, maybe, Valis, you're going to try and kill Hera and compete in a 1v1 there. Or maybe Valis feels as though he could play defensive. I don't think that makes sense, but he could because he's going to receive some support from someone else nearby. For Canada, they have to rely on using their sheep and just their scouting with that to determine where player TCs are. And you can see that Canada's working on it, but even that doesn't tell them exactly who is where. It's just not quite as easy. So we'll see how things play out. I think it'll be a really good series here. There's also a slight chance I might not be able to finish the series because this series started 90 minutes after it was supposed to, and I have dinner tonight for a friend's birthday. So I'm hoping we can have a really good cast. I can have a really good meal tonight. We don't miss any of the games, but figured I'd just preface that. It's rare that I, value actual real life over virtual viewers. I mean, you're actual people, don't get me wrong. Age of Empires too, but today I'm going to do that. And I'm looking forward to it. So, this is how I think this is going to play out. I think Rubenstock, he is going to go Fast Castle War Wagons. And the struggle for him is he wants to be next to people. You absolutely would have wanted to have Rubenstock here and Max where Rubenstock is, because the Castle Dropper wants to be close to two of the best civs for African clearing, which is Mayans and Chinese. So that kind of hurts Finland, I think. I mean, yeah, Rubenstock's going to have the time, but I think Canada's going to have the time, and Canada already has a Vil lead because of the Mayans and Chinese starts. Valis is going to go feudal aggro. We'll see if Hera is planning on doing the same. I don't know if he lost any sheep here, actually. It honestly kind of looks like he might not have. And if that's... No. He sees berries there. There's no berries on this map. He must have lost something there. I would expect a fast castle from Veleza over here. Could go into some archer play. And then I guess Max is going to go scouts. That just feels the most natural thing to try and pressure the two players that are close by. I could see Chris going scouts, and I could see Slam going archers here. Hera, I honestly expect something in feudal. Maybe scouts, maybe archers. And I think Mentalist will go fast castle, because he's pretty far away from everybody. But as I say that, no, he's up to feudal age as well. So all 4 Canadian players are on the way to feudal. Only 2 for Finland thus far. T90 must invite us all to his meal. I'm not sure I'm sure you guys are cool, but I'm not sure my friend would really enjoy that. And in the event that I stop early, I'll let you guys know where you can follow the series. I just kind of letting you guys know the situation so there's no shock later on. Should Hera tower? Potentially. I think a lot of this really depends on what your initial strategy is and what you think your opponent is doing. It's most likely going to be scouts here. And towers don't really help against scouts. And there's no real threat of archers coming in from what you're seeing. So from what we are seeing, actually, and we have the bird's eye view, I think a tower makes very little sense. If he expected archers, then a tower could maybe make sense in an important area. But the majority of his food is here. And then he also has these villagers here, which he should probably consider walling in at some point soon. And we do actually have an archer range for Valis. Wow, interesting. But he is going archers. So this is where Hera could consider a tower, right? I like how Max has just kind of used this villager in different ways. Dropped off food earlier. Now he might try and get the villager back home. I don't know. But he also made houses here. So the teamwork between these two has looked really good. Looks like with stone, we might see early rats and archers for Veleza in Castle Age. Double archer range for Slam. Notice where he's making his ranges. It looks like he wants to pressure Veleza. But the positioning doesn't look great considering Max is on this right-hand side. Max will be going for scouts. Then we also have scouts from Chris. But you would expect that Canada's going to have the edge here in feudal because they are simply just making a lot more army in feudal age. We have 2 players for Finland's going fast castle. We have Rubenstock, and then we have Veleza going fast castle. So it is Max and it is Valis who will be the most exposed. And they have to be the most careful here. Hera sees the archer range. And now Hera has to think about how he would defend from some archers. And he's actually going to add a range for skirms. So here comes the double spearman, double archer play from Valis. Doing this because he expects scouts from Hera. He did see the stable as well. I'm shocked Hera didn't pull these villagers back. What in the world, dude? What are you doing? He's going to try and run away. He could do a little ring around the rosy trick here, but he's made a lot of work for himself here, right? I guess he could bring his scouts back eventually. Hera actually running over here with his scouts. And Hera's actually going to save those villagers. Gets away with it. Lots of signaling right now. And I think Rubenstock was probably saying you might want to tower here. Or be careful here because here comes Mentalist. And this is the risk when you have a player... Oh, great find from Hera. Oh, man. Bad for Finland right now. This found no damage, and Hera immediately found kills. But guys, like, this is what happens when all this feudal age pressure is coming in, right? Meanwhile, we have the scouts from Chris. And then we've got the archers from Slam. Now, this could be eventually be a really good thing for Rubenstock. Because Rubenstock will have war wagons, which are very good against feudal age units. But this is horrible for Valis. Like, Valis might not be alive by the time there's any support. And, you know, the wood lines are awkward here. He's kind of stuck in the middle of the map. Risky plays from Finland here. And just safe plays from Canada. And it is all Canada to start this game. But now you have Chris getting hit. This is good play from Max. If Max can find a couple kills here, he'll finally feel like he's got an advantage over the Chinese, maybe. And he is going to get those kills. He's going to get 2 kills. Didn't block there. Could have maybe had the third, but players are distracted with a lot of stuff happening right now. Oh my god, Val is still dying. I think he either overchopped the tree there, or I don't exactly know. And Hera's got skirms now, so Hera's completely fine. Valis is a non-factor in this game now. I don't like fast castle rats and archers. I just don't. It takes way too long. You're better off going feudal age archers and getting lots of help for your teammates early. So I think, in my opinion, I just really think that that's a poor strat. Like, look how exposed your opponent is. Also, you know, speaking of like poor thinking, you've got a tower, Valis. Like, you've got 4 feudal age armies. It's already been bad. You got to drop a tower. So I don't think he's helped himself here, but Canada's completely obliterated the guy. And so, with that being the case, obviously, Team Canada's hoping that Chris won't take losses, Slam won't take losses. You see how long it takes? Like, now we have a castle coming up for Rubenstock, but this is just taking forever. And now the rest of the Finns are in a position where they have to go all in. Castle was delayed because Veleza had to drop a tower. Delayed that castle. And you should be pretty smooth sailing from here if you're Mentalist. He could boom up. And he'll probably just hope to get a really big economy. They will know that the unique unit will eventually come here for Finland in the form of war wagons. But I think he's got plenty of time. Could maybe even make some monks, even though he's Huns. And great defense here from Chris. We'll see how things play out. Hera, his army, is kind of walking around to different areas. I'm trying to find it right now. Great defense there from Rubenstock just to make sure units don't get in as he waits for war wagons. Fiona, thanks for the sub, by the way. Says, aren't Hera/Velez top players but lowest score? Yeah, all these players are amazing. The thing about team games is it's all about your roles. You're not going to see in 4v4s one player just carry the team because you have to have all your other players be solid. And as I said before the series, I don't know if you caught it, other players have carried Canada more than Hera has, for example. Chris has had his games where he carries. More often than not, actually. I think if you were to look through, like, who was highest score at the end of every Canada game, I think Chris would probably have that more often than not. But, you know, Hera playing it, had to play a different role in this particular game because of his positioning, has played it super well. Chris and Slam together. I remember Slam carrying on African Clearing too. That's the thing about Team Canada, is they can have any player play that role. Yeah, Hun monks aren't the best. But I think having a couple monks out wouldn't hurt if you're expecting lots of war wagons. Now, this'll be potentially really bad for Hera, by the way. As Slam, with 22 army, is on the way to Castle Age and kills more villagers from Valis. Valis is just completely out of the game. He can't even take resources. But, like, the war wagons and another castle drop would just take Hera out of this one. And rats and archers are also extremely good against other archers. But again, it's a numbers thing. I love rats and archers, but 23 crossbows is going to beat 5 rats and archers every time. And here's an example of just archers against Ratsons, right? Like, Ratson's a great unit. Your teammate's dead now. Is it worth it that your teammate's dead and you got to this unit? Probably not. I think in some ways, though, I don't think... I mean, it's a long series, right? Finland, they didn't select civilizations that were just, like, beastly. They picked civilizations that, like, 1 or 2 that could be awkward for them on other maps. And then they have 1 or 2 civilizations which could be a little bit more formidable for them. As I talk smack about the Ratsons, by the way, Veleza doing a good job with them. And then the war wagons are here as well. And Hera's just under some massive pressure. I think, like, Mentalist, though, is going to have such a crazy economy. He's taken no damage that, you know, him being on Paladin in the later stages is a real reality. Or a strong reality. Slam also just dropping TCs. He's not taking eco damage. Chris is competing against the max. And that's an interesting one, because Chris, he's going to be up to Castle Age at around the same time. You know, crazy things could happen. The Hindustani camels could be pretty strong there. But yeah, Hera's taken some losses here, but he's still way ahead of the position that Valis is in. Rubenstock, he's saving up stone. He doesn't actually have enough stone for another castle because he's not mining anymore. He needs to find that, and he needs to find the right player to hit, and I think it has to be Mentalist, personally. I think that Veleza can worry about Hera because Hera's already a bit behind him. They know where Mentalist is, and I think Mentalist shouldn't be allowed to have a free boom at this point. 19 eco loss for Valis this game. Just horrible. And Max killed 4 villagers, but that's the only player on Finland that has killed villagers this game. And Hera has skirms. So Hera will hold against the Rats and Archers. Odd Canera wasn't even in for these Rats and Archers. The skirms do a lot of bonus damage. Looking like it's all Canada here. I think Max needs to have a great performance, but now he's up against both Chris and Slam, who've worked very well together here. And not seeing enough from Rubenstock. Rubenstock still moving out over here. His eco's really good. But I don't know if it's the approach you necessarily need. All that said, he's only behind... Team Finland is only behind by 10 eco. Thank God for Capture Age, right? Because with how this game is flowing, it just feels like it's over. But that's a lot of war wagons. Rubenstock has as many villagers as Mentalist does. Ooh, interesting. And Mayans and Chinese. One of the most incredible stacks you could have here. Mayans and Chinese are weaker on regular Nomad because typically you need to have some bonuses for adding fishing ships there, which Mayans and Chinese kind of struggle with. At least compared to some other civs. Here it's just a land map, right? There's instant food income with the shorefish, which means that Mayans and Chinese maintain their villager lead. Plus all the other bonuses that come in. Valis is trying to find safety here. I genuinely, for a moment there, thought it was like, oh, a castle drop from Canada. And the vills have been found. But no, that's his teammate. What a sad existence that Valis is living in right now. Yeah, the war wagons are going to come help Max. God, Slam has looked so good in Nations Cup. Chris has looked so good in Nations Cup. And Canada has just been insane in general. They have a massive chunky ball of wagons here. And you cannot take this fight if you're Chris. You need to get away from there. So the support is coming. And there's Valis just to chop some trees there. Eco lead growing for Canada. But Valeza's on 4 TCs. Which is pretty ridiculous, actually. He's at 80 villagers. Slam's at 60. Hera, he's just booming. He's not able to really do much to help those Rats and Archers. Or help the crossbowmen, I guess, from Slam. From those Rats and Archers. And suddenly... Slam's got decisions to make, right? Because Slam's got to decide on, do I deal with the Ratans or do I deal with the wagons and the camels? Kind of has to deal with both. Finland have given themselves a chance to come back in this game. Still think Mentalist should have a massive boom, and Mentalist will be in a good position later. But if Slam and Chris take losses or get taken out of this game before Hera Mentalist can help out, could be crazy. And remember, the reason Rats and Archers are strong is because they don't take a lot of damage from other archers. So we'll soon have full armor, which means you're doing 1 damage a hit here with your crossbowman if you're Slam. But not the time to take a fight here if you're Veleza. Because he just got ballistics and he's getting armor now. A couple raids here from Chris. I like it, right? And Chris still trying to get some damage in on Max. But guys, war wagons can just take out town centers too. Like, this is a really strong unit. And Rubenstock, the weakest player for Finland, showing up strong here with the Koreans. Yeah, comes over to Hera's base, realizes the skirms are there, backs away. Here the Rats and Archers. Still just, not enough numbers. Not enough numbers to be taking this fight. Wagons can be doing that kind of stuff, though. And I would like to see right now, Rubenstock coming forward for a castle somewhere. And I don't know where he would place it, but I think it'd be really wise to get over to maybe Mentalist base. But now he's kind of 2v1'd as he's still trying to attack here. Is Veleza imping at all? Is anyone going to be imping here? Nope, doesn't look like it. Lots more army. Guys, this game is very close. Valis is at 32 vills. Like, Valis is stuck in feudal. How is this game close? He's been getting castle dropped. Are they doing enough, Finland? Are they doing enough to bring this back? It doesn't really feel like there's still a lot of army here for Canada. Is it the right type of army? Okay, Chris. He's got his TCs fully garrisoned here. Here, Slam. Good thing he has cheaper archers with his civilization, because he needs to have the numbers here against the Ratans. The fight's decent, all things considered, right? He's still going to win that fight. He just needs to hold on for his team. Here, the wagons and the camels in combination with each other doing very well. Still wondering, will we see Imp for Veleza or Rubenstock because they have the biggest economies? And if Imp were to come in for them, I think it could possibly lead to them winning this game. Canada did a great job punishing Finland in the time that they could for being as greedy as they have. But we now know why the greed was decided upon. Canada only with a 10 population lead for their team. Hera is imping, though. I just wonder what Hera goes for as a unit, right? Like, I feel like Rats and Archers beat the Mangudai. And Mangudai is what you want to go for if you're Hera. Rubenstock might have 100 villagers, by the way, but he's really struggled to properly balance it. He doesn't have over, like, even 25 on food. Veleza's got 50. But what he does have is a ton of wagons. And so they back away from Chris. And now it looks like they're headed over to pressure Mentalist. And this is what I was waiting for a long time. Mentalist could start getting hit from both sides. And it doesn't look like the knight numbers are... Well, here it's actually going to be fine. But when it's camels and it's wagons, I don't think this will be fine. Is Max going to castle drop him too? Oh, boy. I like it. Because Max's Vil count isn't that great, right? But he's got good units, and that is an amazing castle. Mentalist still not up. We're going to see a castle from Mentalist there. That could always be denied too. Meanwhile, double castle from Veleza on this side. Holy crap. And yeah, Hera will have insane economy, but Veleza has 30 more Vils than him, and he has more military. And I think Slam would die to the Rats and Archers too, unless he can get Elite Eagle in. Oh, man. Pressure on both the corners here. The northern corner and the eastern corner here from Finland. And a defensive castle here from Rubenstock to just hold against Hera. Hera has to decide who he kills. It's going to be tough for him to decide on where to go. Now, an important thing to think about here, because they will want Valis in the game eventually, is you can only send resources down an age if you're in Imperial Age to Castle Age, or to Feudal. It doesn't matter. If you're an Imp, you can send resources. So I think that Veleza, at some point, will start sending some food over to Valis, so Valis could just drop like tons of town centers and try and come back into the game if it's still close. Hera getting smashed by wagons. He doesn't have a large army at all. Like, I don't know what he's going to go into here. And, you know, Veleza can go double Trebuchet to push all these town centers from Slam, get his upgrades, elite Ratans. 144 Vils. You might even want to cut the Vil count here, Veleza, if you think of it. Imp is not on the way for Mentalist. Mentalist is just... He's stuck as well. And in a game that Canada basically had won already, Slam forgot to get Elite Eagle. And he hasn't queued up Elite Eagle in this game. We have to assume he's going to prioritize Elite Eagle. But all right. Military count higher for Finland. Momentum there for Finland right now. Hera opening skirms with Mongols. He's going to try and go Rams, though. I really like Siege Ram. Oh, this is good. Siege Ram push against the castles would be amazing. He is getting Siege Ram, too. That's the best decision from Hera. Better than prioritizing army, because he doesn't know what he can really do, right? He takes out the castles, then suddenly there's not really much more you can really do if you're Veleza, because you're committed to Rats and Archers. And he doesn't have anyone to support him in something that takes out Rams. TC down for Mentalist here. Castle will go down for Max here. Max at 82 villagers. And Chris still defending himself nicely. This is a great game. Economy is way higher for Canada. Military count way higher for Finland. Slam taking some losses, but Hera, he will pose a massive threat here for the time being. Now, Onagers being researched for Veleza. This is important enough where if Hera sees Onager, he will actually sacrifice all of his Mangudai to snipe them. He's going to go for the Siege Workshops. Like that one Mangonel, you use your Rams to take it out. Drill is in. Forget Mangudai. We're just going to go Siege with the Mongols here. And again, if Hera sees that, you send one of your Rams in after it because the Onager's here to take out the Rams. I would even use the Mangudai to do so. Onager! Bam! What a play! What a freaking play! Meanwhile, Slam has some problems, but Veleza, he loses the Trebuchet to Slam because Slam, he knows that there's distractions over here from Hera. And, you know, I'm not seeing the wagons making any pushes anymore. I'm not seeing the army count look all that good for Veleza anymore. He's probably badly housed currently because he's lost 2 castles, and he could lose more. A great decision there from Hera's open siege ram. I love it. Now we'll have wagons from Rubenstock over here. Rubenstock is an imp, and Rubenstock can start to push Hera, but that was amazing. That was the perfect play there. I love that. And now he might actually die. Like, Hera might actually be dead soon if the war wagons continue to push him. But Slam can now carry the team with the Eagles. And actually, the Eagles are going to come directly to the wagons to help Hera out. That's amazing. Chris has held on pretty evenly against the Max. And then Mentalist has had time to breathe. And I think Canada are finally going to be able to get rid of these pesky Finns. At least that's what it feels like. You seeing Lycav being teched into by Veleza is a sign to me that he doesn't feel like Rats and Archers can do it anymore. And a moment ago, I was saying that we could see Rubenstock kill Hera. But if Elite Eagles with Eldorado come in, which is precisely what we have, War Wagons might not be good enough against that. Good job from Slam to remember Elite Eagle exists. Notice how Slam isn't getting pushed at all now. And notice how Chris has set up his base so nicely to defend. Canada is so good. And there's the Eagles. And you just delay here, right? Because Valis still isn't in the game. It's still been 3 players versus 4. Mentalist and Chris aren't in final form yet. And this is perfect. You lose a lot of Eagles, but there's lots of gold in the map, and you're fine. 36 Rats and Archers still for Veleza, though. And having a meat shield in front isn't bad. He's actually going to go Cavalier. But Hera doing his best to stay alive. Lightcap going in for the siege. Somehow these little wooden wheels, which are probably very squeaky and inefficient, are faster than a horse. But that's Mongol siege for you. Eagles are here. War Wagons, they're 9+3. They're going to be 9+4 once chemistry's in. So they're doing more damage than a traditional archer would, right? But still, 100 HP Eagles can just end your day. Here, we need walls from Rubenstock. Okay, walls are down. And then here, Slam is pushing back the castles. Yeah, this is really bad for Finland now. Canada's got better army. They have more army. Wait. Okay, Cavalier was probably a bit of a surprise. That wasn't too bad. Rats and Archers. Oh, there's a hole. Uh-oh, Rats and Archers had to chase down those Eagles. That's so annoying. And meanwhile, Hera can just expand. Hera, Slam, Mentalist, Chris opened up all in feudal. And I think they found huge reward for it here. Max is now the one that will probably die. His Imp TC is here, by the way. So he won't lose his Imperial Age upgrade. But he's up against Halbs and Trebs. There's no way of stopping that. Not in his own. He will be overrun. And while Velez has done a fantastic job here of damage control, and the Rats and Archers will clear up the Eagles, there will simply just be more Eagles eventually for Slam. And Hera, now able to justify switching into Mangudai, has Elite Mangudai in combination with the Siege, and is pushing Veleza from the other side. So this is going to be the end. In game number 1, most likely, I think Canada will take this one, but what a great game. Really fun game. I think we saw enough from Finland to understand why they wanted to be as greedy as they did, or they played. However, at the same time, Canada punished it perfectly. And it still went to the final age, right? It still went to the Imperial Age. Just fantastic play. Like, maybe there's a world where if Max doesn't die now, which I feel is unlikely, that, you know, Valis can come in later, but I think it's going to be too little too late. This is all the makings of a too little too late situation. Elite Chukunu for Chris. Chris has 76 army. Slam has 60 army. Like, Hera's got a crazy score due to the technologies. And it's a very satisfying army. I'm sure has brought him a lot of kills as well here. But collectively, Canada as a whole has just been so together here. Look at these KDs here. Chris actually doesn't have too many kills, actually. A little surprised to see. Like, Hera, 132. Slam, 181. 140 for Mentalist. And then here, I mean, again, the story of this game has been the fact that Valis is out of the game. And Halbin Treb Chukunu just continues, man. I mean, hindsight's 20/20. But I think Valis, he didn't do enough with his Archer opening. And he needed to wall and tower a little bit better. When you see those feudal age times, if you're stuck in the middle of the map, you've got to protect yourself. You guys have probably had this happen before, where, and it's important to actually have this understanding as a player. I think a lot of people don't, so I'll just use this as an example. A lot of you guys will probably have played some games before in ranked, and you are top scorer, and you've done really well, great economy, great units, but then your teammate got 2v1s, and then there might be a part of you that's like, man, if my teammate just didn't die, we would have won. What a noob that guy was. But how much did you do to help him, right? Or, you know, you've maybe been on the other side of it where your flank, and you're making army, your teammate doesn't support you at all, you die, and then your teammate calls you a noob, right? Team games, it's all about supporting your team. There's pros and cons to every decision you make for yourself and also your teammate. And Finland's still hanging in here, but I mean, Max isn't going to have a base. Max now has half the Vil count that Valis has. So first game in a very long series. These guys are going to play it out a bit longer. I get it. But this is Canada's game. The compositions are too strong, man. And I think if you were... So this would be kind of interesting, actually. But if, you know, the teams are so close, if you were to just ask the teams based on the civilizations here, you say, okay, who wins this game? I think both teams say Canada wins this game based on the civs. So I think there was some level of risk based on how Finland played it. You know, assuming you are looking at two teams that are pretty close to 50-50, which I believe they are. And the Chinese Mayans, Mongols late game. And then Huns aren't too bad to have in the game either. GG. Canada takes the first game in this best of 7. Great game. Took us some time to get things started there. But we finally made it happen. And it was a fun one. Also, I wonder if Capture Age puts the top scores, players, most created units. It's a bit of a bummer that for team games, I don't have most created units for more players. I would have wanted to know, like, how many Eagles Slam made. Because Slam made way more than... Like, he's got 59 Eagles now. I'm not sure exactly how that works with Capture Age. Maybe that's something I can request. But great job from Team Canada. They did a similar thing in the earlier rounds where they just go full feudal. And then they take it to Castle Age from there. Vleza played well. Couldn't do it all on his own. Rubenstock played well. But Max and Valis, both of those two players, just struggled the entire game. And the pressure just wasn't quite enough from the two carry players for Finland to be able to punish Canada and pressure them. Alrighty, here we are. Game number 2. It's another Nomad start, so we'll be getting the Nomad out of the way. And this is a big one for Finland. They did lose the first game. I think going down 2-0 to this Canadian team with how solid Canada plays would be painful. And just like in game 1 where I said the civilizations for African clearing were stacked for Canada, it's absolutely stacked for Finland. Keep in mind, guys, we are playing with the old balance here. So some of the changes that we've had to our game recently are not the case here. And actually, we have a restart. Okay. All right, guys. So this is game number 2. It's a Nomad start, and this is not going to be an admin restart. Because while we have TCs close by each other, they're not in range of each other, okay? So this will get very spicy. And I'm going to introduce the Finns, who absolutely need to win this one. Just like Canada had 3 of their top civilizations selected for Game 1, Finland does that here for Game 2. We have the Max in the yellow for Finland, playing as the Malians. Not too far away from him, actually, right past 2 Canadians, we have Veleza playing as the Persians. To the right of him, over on his own, we have the Spanish player Valis, which is the spot you would want to be at. You want to be far away from everyone. Not too far away, but a decent distance away so you can't get rushed. And then you also want to have safe dock, and he's next to a teammate on water. I think that's good for him. And then last but not least, we've got Rubenstock in the red. Rubenstock playing Burmese. And so, again, he's kind of on his own here as well. For Canada, we have Hera directly next to Max. I think it could be really tough for Max here to get boars. Like, if Hera gets this boar, what on earth is Max supposed to do for a boar? He's going to get a boar here, but he's going to have to rely mainly on fish. But yeah, so anyways, Hera's playing as Burgundians. In the green, then, we've got Slam playing as the Tatars. In the gray, we have Chris playing as Saracens. And then we have Mentalist playing as the Burmese for Canada. So we have Burmese being played by both teams. That is possible. There will be other instances where that happens because there's 4 civilizations per team per game. There's potentially 7 games. So it's a bit of a different civ draft here. So typically what happens is the Persian player or the Malian player, because their starts are so smooth, is they're going for water control for the team. So if Max could get up, for example, and kill Hera's fish, that'd be very nice. You will see a lot of scouting on the shorelines for players with their sheep. You see the little scouting here. And this is important because Valis and Veleza have determined that there's no fish near them, which means that Veleza should probably go for feudal age pressure on land or just go fast castle on land and doesn't need to protect fish. So this then means that Rubenstock is in more of a position where he would want to disrupt water, but mainly the Max, I think, because again of the flexibility of his civilization. But this is bad. If he did, I guess he could push in these deer, but the fact he's next to 2 players and isn't gonna have boars is really gonna affect his ability to go fast feudal here. But guys, look at the eco difference already. Like, what? I think Hera's had a bad start by Nomad standards, but then also Persians and Malians are just so smooth. And Spanish. So this is the old patch, okay? They wanted to play with the same balance this entire tournament, but in the most recent patch, they nerfed the starts for Persians, Malians, and Spanish. But just look at the starts. Like, this game already has like a 15% lead towards Finland's eco. It's wild. So, this is a must-win for them, right? And it's why, some people were like, oh my god, Canada looked so good in game number 1. Oh, Canada, they defeated Valis. Let's go, Canada. Lots of excitement. But this is why you need to calm your nerves a little bit if you're a Canada fan and a Finn fan, because Nomad starts and civs matter a lot. Chinese, Mayans, Mongols, insane stack game 1 for Canada. Persians, Malians, and the Spanish here for Finland. If Finland do not win this game, this is terrible. Terrible, terrible for them. And then it's massive advantage for Canada. It almost would feel like 1.5 wins if you win this particular game if you're Canada. So, we'll see how it goes. KO giving me a message here. Oh boy, let's see. This is a very long message. And apparently having issues with VODs. I'm not going to be able to help you with the stream chat message. It kind of feels like a sayonara message. But I'd suggest posting something in the Discord about it, because we have a room and maybe I could pass information along and it'd be a lot more helpful because I could see it after the stream. But if you're having issues with VODs here, I don't know if I could help, but I could let you know. Also, did that turkey get walled in? What? What happened here? I'm going to assume that Max's villager that was docked here, did he lose his vill? I think he was trying to wall it in. Eco KD. I have no clue why there's a turkey walled in by Max. I think he maybe tried to wall in Harris Villager or something there. So that's not something you'll see every day. A goose jail. Okay. So we expect Fast Castle with a free fish boom over here for Valis, but we do have Veleza going up, and he's adding a dock here. So this is going to be some level of water aggression for him. We also have Max going up with a second dock. We might even see a third for him, so we will see water aggression there as well. But, I mean, the fish for Slam are safe in the south. The fish for Mentalist are on the side here. Hera's fish will be in jeopardy. Or, wait. Yeah, Hera's fish. Okay. Fish. Stinky, Dave did not want to cast with me for anything Canada-related. He said it's more of a fan club. He wants to be biased. I am very unbiased. Canada is America's top hat after all, and maybe there could be some bias because I'm further away from Canada. But, you know, besides being biased towards Canadian sports like hockey, not curling, sorry curling fans, and biased towards their brands of maple syrup, I am not biased towards Canada in the slightest. We have an archer range here for Slam. And we'll see exactly what Hera's going to do here. Hera, 2 minutes away, so he's probably going to be going for Fast Castle, and he's headed towards Stone, so he wants a castle drop. Could be really bad for Max in this game, but if Max is able to disrupt some fish, still keep his fishing ships alive, it could be good. And actually, as I say that, Max has 11 fishing ships. What in the world? This might be a Fast Castle attempt from him, actually. I saw triple dock, and I just assumed Navy, because that's the standard, but I think he understands he doesn't need Navy, because we'll have Veleza making the Navy here. Still trying to keep an eye on what's happening where. We do have Chris going galleys for Canada. Kind of hard to see him. And he's going to hit Rubenstock's fish. So Rubenstock, he's in an unfortunate position here because he's probably going to lose his fish to Slam as well if Slam finds him. And what he can't do is he can't get these fishing ships to the north and redock because he'd have to send a Vil from here to get to the northern side. So he's pretty much out of luck. Curling is quality. Well, I know that the U.S. beat Canada in the Olympics a couple years back, and I texted Dave about it, and he was very upset. He was very emotional, but I didn't care. So Fast Castle for Max with crazy fishing ship count. He will be up at a similar time to Hera, but he's been towered, and he's also going to have archers on him. So this isn't going to be an easy life for him. On water, we knew that both teams would be going water. We've got, this will be tough to follow here. Gray and orange against each other. But Velez has had a beastly performance here. He's still going to be in Castle Age really fast, too. This is just so good. But again, a lot of it's also due to how the civilizations pan out. Mentalist with the Burmese. And so far, some safe fishing ships, though. He is on his way up. And he will be going for Arambai. Rubenstock will also be going for Arambai, though. Rubenstock did finally lose his fish to Slam. Over here, Chris is going to have to micro away. He's probably being out-microed on this side right now. Yeah, this is a really bad moment here for him because there's a lot of pressure on him to find the Spanish and find the Persian fish. He hasn't been able to push here, but, you know, he hasn't been able to hit Max's fish. Hera's fish are completely dead. We'll see how Max is doing. Max is walled. Max is still somehow safe. But Max, he's going to have a castle going up near him from Hera. So I think he needs to maybe go for siege right away. Thanks, by the way, to people. You know, it sucks when people have technical difficulties or whatever it is. And obviously, I can't help them on a stream. Thanks to the people who've been responding and whatnot. Yeah, Hera's lost all of his fish. At least I don't see where they could have gone. He doesn't have a dock anywhere else. And Archer's here from Slam, trying to find Veleza. Veleza knew that was a possibility, already preemptively towered. Veleza will probably add siege and or knights and castle. He'll be up in a moment. There's the castle for Rubenstock. We should have a castle soon for Mentalist as well. And Mentalist actually going for the War Galley upgrade. So he's going to help out on water, which I think is very nice from him because otherwise Chris is currently being outnumbered. Rubenstock's doing the same from the other side, though. Oh, man. Yeah, so both Burmese players pretty much doing the exact same thing. And the main difference there has been the fact that Mentalist hasn't lost his fish yet. But the timings on the upgrade's pretty crucial here. Okay, where will Hera build his castle? This could be really bad for Hera. Oh, no! Dude, are you kidding me? You see a siege workshop, bro. No one can call me blind again. It's now Hera blind. Dude, you see a siege workshop. How do you think this is going to go? Well, he's probably going to get it up, too. Like, if this is me, everyone just makes jokes. He actually did somewhat of a smart thing there. He sent villagers in after the siege. And I take it all back. This is worth it, because this will disrupt Max more than that Mangonel has disrupted him. Real opportunity for Canada through Hera if he can afford to make units. He doesn't have a lot of food eco. But the Coustier could be very strong. Fires for Mentalist. Veleza has to back away. Remember, here Valis still has fish, and Valis has conquistadors on the field now. Yikes. Conks are insane. Valis is also booming, too, on 2 town centers, with all of his safe fishing ships, grabbing relics. Max has done everything he needs to do, and compare the eco. It's 29 for Hera, it's 39 for Max. So yeah, he's been castle dropped, but he just needs to stay alive while his team does everything for him. And all this pressure is going to be coming in towards Hera here. And Arambai from Rubenstock are headed over. This could be really bad for Hera despite getting the forward castle down. And it will be. He's done a similar thing to what he had just done earlier against the siege. He just buys enough time so he doesn't completely die to this, which is impressive because now he gets the TC up, right? And those types of things are really important in these scenarios. Triple market wall here from Chris. He's got cheap markets, thankfully, but it's because the conquistadors are on the way. It's been all Finland here this game. I think it will continue to be all Finland because Velez is also upgrading on Navy. So, yeah, we'll see. Probably Mentalists come this way to try and disrupt Rubenstock. But the Navy from Veleza is going to just dominate water. And he's dropping town centers to boom. I think this game is a good example of why we have seen the Nomad adjustments made for standard, like, Water Nomad. Or not Water Nomad, that's a separate map, but standard Nomad that incorporates water. And I think the previous game was also a good example of maybe some different aspects, not necessarily balanced, but Mayans and Chinese on African clearing. It's just been played so smoothly here from the Finns. And there's going to be a great bounce-back game for them. Max still greater economy than Hera. Slam kind of forced to help out Hera here. And just waiting for this Navy to completely clamp down on the water that Mentalist still has remaining. Sneaky from Hera with his 2 units. He's going to find a villager pick there. I'm sure he won't complain about that. Max could convert these 2 units, though, if Hera's not careful. And Hera gets the pick off. And Hera's going to run away. So, good work from him to get away. Still very uncertain on what you're supposed to do in this scenario right now if you are Canada. This is good for Mentalist, actually. He's stopped the retreat, so Valis can't leave. And he's got a monk, and he gets a conversion on the full HP Conquistador, and he's got the Arambai. Very well played for Mentalist this game. But while he's still playing well, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Valis, the player who was almost defeated in game number 1, is at 64 economy. He's going to have more Conquistadors, and he's going to have so much eco. Mentalist, he's had to do so many different things. Valis has lived the dream life. He hasn't had to help on water, and he just focuses on land the entire time. And well played from Max, by the way. If Max would have been defeated, if Max would have been rolled after that castle drop, it would have been hugely problematic. But now he's actually going to be pressuring Hera. And again, he's been propped up by his team on water. Hera tries to show up still with the same 2 units. And it's all he can afford. Right? He cannot afford much else right now. And Slam's also, like, stuck in here. They're completely cramped. They haven't been able to expand. And Veleza also 70 villagers now. So in a closer game, I think you have Velez start to make knights now. We'll see if that still happens. There goes Hera with his units. And one gets deleted, one gets converted. But I actually think we are going to approach a GG moment. Because there will be another castle from Valis. It doesn't have to be forward, but it feels like he could just castle drop somebody. This is good from Christo, finding Valis' fish, but it's a little too late, right? You need that food eco to get the town centers up and produce out of those town centers. Not for the long term, necessarily. It's all about that castle age. And Valis is probably like, yo, bro, like, what are you doing here? Somebody's got to help me out. I'm sure it's not what he's saying, but that's kind of... The point is, like, teammates make something, and Velez is making something. They still don't want to lose it. Any reason for double Burmese? Yeah, it's due to a best of 7. You will have other instances too. I'll show how the draft works after this, but... Look at Canada! 3 of them getting horse collar at the same time. Did they just say, hey boys, check and make sure you have horse collar? That's funny. I mean, you know, you do delay horse collar on these types of maps because you have fish for a while. You normally want to get it a bit earlier than that. But 3 of them getting it at the same time when it's such a quick upgrade is really rare. What a great game from Rubenstock, by the way. And we're going to see a castle there? Yeah, I guess we are. Drop a castle right here. There's no way you stop this. Hera's got 6 units. Slam doesn't have enough crossbows. They're actually running out of space right now to drop this castle. There's a lot of units standing there. Hera knows. Hera knows. Hera's trying to block it. House Foundation blocks it. Well played, Hera. Outpost might need to be deleted. There's just... It's so cramped over here right now. And Imp for Veleza on the other side of all this, as finally... I mean, Rubenstock, just drop your castle. Okay, he's going to drop it there. Hera's still trying to be, like, super nerdy and creative with this, but that castle's going up. And if you try and stop it, you're going to lose all your units one way or another. Hera tries to stop it. Okay, you kill some villagers. Well played. You're going to lose your units. Again, very well played from Hera considering the circumstances here, but there's still monks out there. There's still mangonels, and... Oh, baby! Again, well played considering the circumstances. Castle will still go up. Conquistadors are now on the other side. And Imp is on the way for Valis with 91 eco. Currently, we're looking at 92 eco for Veleza. And now all of Hera's units go down. Now all of his villagers are dying. And this is where the GG will be called. So... I mean, maybe not, right? Maybe not. We do have some support from Mentalists. They will maybe engage against these Conquistadors. And they will feel as though if they clear up the Conquistadors, that's a big success. That's a big win for them. But Imp, with these positions, is going to lead to some much bigger problems. But a nice trap here from Canada. Arambai and the crossbows get around the Conquistadors. Valis may be getting a little too over-aggressive there. But it's like, you're like, yes, guys, we did it. We held, we stabilized. And then you see Imp. And you're just like, crap. That is not good for me. Oh, Arambai numbers higher for Rubenstock as well. At least in this particular fight. We can come over. I'm shocked Velez is actually trying this, but he does have knights here. And the knights do a bit of extra bonus damage with Persians. Hello? Excuse me, guys. Let me through. Thank you. Guys, move, please. Where are the Arambai at? Arambai are over here now. He deletes that castle, drops one further back, which makes more sense anyways. How's Chris doing right now? We haven't talked about Chris in a long time. Well, he's still got conks to deal with. Mentalist is kind of blocking him from that. He's got a pretty good eco. Slam has a pretty good economy as well. However, he won't be an imp, so he will just be trapped down, which is the concern. And I was incorrect on the GG call. Canada's done a great job. It reminds me of the previous game as well, right? In some aspects. Just like the losing team doing a good job. I'm not so sure about these Arambai. Are they trapped right now? They're just not hitting their shots, and a Mentalist must be distracted. Mentalist probably microing or looking here, where he's about to be trapped down by Valis. So he loses everything. Winners finals. So whoever wins this goes to the grand final. It could be a rematch there. And I think if you were a betting man, you would probably bet that it would eventually be a rematch. But winner of this series goes to the grand final, where they start with 1 win when that final begins. If you're not sure on why that is, I'll show the bracket immediately after this and kind of re-explain that process. But basically, it's a double elim tourney. Neither of these teams have lost. They've just steamrolled all the way through to the winner's bracket. And the loser here has a second chance in the loser's bracket. And the reward for being in the winner's bracket the whole time is just one win when the final starts. GG's called. And Finland gets the win. It's a 1-1 series. I'm going to say this, though. The fact that there was a 15 eco lead in this game in Dark Age really shows you just how imbalanced certain civilizations have been on Nomad for a long time, like Persians, Malian, Spanish specifically. And while, you know, for the series, it balances out because of what we saw in African Clearing, I am really happy that they have adjusted the way all civilizations work. They make it so you do not get some of your like your extra resources, for example, your build speed if you're Spanish on the first TC. Typically, a lot of those bonuses don't kick in until after the TC's up. So a good game here from Finland, and they played it very well, and they obviously drafted for it. But ultimately, it's good for the game that if we were to have this matchup again on the current balance and not the old patch, that it would probably be closer. Civilizations in general going forward will be a lot closer on Nomad, which is really good for the game. So, there's nothing Canada really did wrong in the Dark Age. It's just that Spanish, Malians, and Persians were played to their full potential, and the full potential just gives them a really nice lead. So, Canada drafted more towards African Clearing. Finland drafted more towards Nomad. Nomad, in general, those starts are out of the way now, so it'll be a normal rest of the series, I suppose. But just quick glance through the resources, I guess. The stats. There you have it. Obviously looking very good overall for Finland. Economically, just insane. Great bounce back game from Valis. Great game from Veleza, as you would expect. And Rubenstock and Max, similar to game one, just had to be aggressors and do well for their team against the others. Max having a lead over Hera. Max could have died easily to Slam. Like, Max made that all look very easy, by the way. So, well played. All right, ladies and gents, welcome to game number 3 as we catch up to real time. We have Migration. Wow, they could dock block this. Oh my god. Hera could dock here. Slam could dock here. They could genuinely hide fish in this back corner. Is that an admin re? Because that's possible. Canada, do not waste this, okay? This is the rare opportunity on Migration where you could do that. That could maybe be good. Sorry, let me do my introductions. In the blue, we've got Slam playing as the Malay on the side, or on the flank. His pocket very close to him is Hera playing as the Berbers. The other pocket, pretty far away, is Chris playing as the Vietnamese. And then on the other flank, we've got Dravidians for Mentalist. Dravidians are really nice on this because your teammates get extra pop space from your docks. So that just adds to your start and allows you some pretty flexible build orders. In the orange for Finland, we have Lithuanians for Veleza. And we'll see how he wants to play it. We've seen some pretty all-in build orders with the Lithuanians in the past. In the purple, we have the Max playing as the Huns. In the yellow, then, we have Valis playing as the Japanese. And then the flank, we have Rubenstock playing as the Incas. Again, could see some interesting builds with Lithuanian and Inca flanks. Incas getting more pop space on their houses, meaning they save wood, meaning they can maybe make more ships. Lithuanians with more food at their start, going to wood faster than most civs do, for, again, more ships. The key for the pockets, guys, is we now have a pause. Okay, never mind, they're back. The key for the pockets and the theme has been Hera and Chris taking map control in the middle behind safe fishing ships. So it's not always possible, but the idea behind the flank position, so we're talking about here and here, is to bypass the flank and get to the middle player's fish. So I think Finland, more than anything, are going to be designed around doing that, but I could easily see both teams trying it. But yeah, Max with the Huns could be strong into maybe Paladins or Cav Archers. And Valis, he's Japanese, and the last time I saw them, they just destroyed everyone because of Valis, man. Like, I forget who it was against. Was it Chile? Or was that Canada? No, it was against somebody else. And basically what happened was the side opposite of Valis struggled. And they got disrupted, and they got hit, and it looked like the other team was going to be able to take them. But then Valis just went beast mode. And that's what both these teams have, is one side struggles, the other players, bam, we're here, and we're winning our side. So, okay. Christian, yo, welcome. Says, didn't know you moved to Facebook, missed the streams. Welcome. Little bit late to the party, but to the party nonetheless. It has now been almost 20 months. Glad you could make it. So, again, uptimes are important here. And what I can't show you guys, which kind of sucks, is I can't show you the player's pop space. So, I can't show you how having Dravidians on the team is really helpful here. But people felt like Dravidians were such a must pick that in the earlier rounds, when they had snipes available, they would get rid of the Dravidians. So, you'd have Chinese and Mayans, all these civs in the draft. Players would snipe, which means remove Dravidians from being a possibility. But there's no sniping now. So you just, you got to pick Dravidians early. I think this was like the second pick or the third pick here for Canada. Anyways, Velez is up pretty quickly, though. And there he goes. And we also have Rubenstock up pretty quickly. And yeah, this is going to be funny. Like, usually, the way it's panned out is one team has their flanks go really aggressive to try and kill fish, and the other team tries to defend. But I think both teams have kind of designed these builds for really quick uptimes. So I think on paper, the way this is going to pan out, is that the flanks are just going to butt heads and run into each other. Because they're all going to be in very similar positions. Dang, wish I didn't live in Australia. This is legit the second stream I've joined because it's 5 a.m. Yeah, time zones suck. I think your time zone gets shafted the most. Probably not this year, guys, but I'm already thinking about things I want to tweak and change in 2024. And there will be a point where I think I'm going to do like one stream a week for people in time zones who, can't make the streams as consistently. Maybe not even one stream a week, but it's going to be a scheduled thing, so you guys kind of know what to look for. So I will make sure that people hear about that on the videos and whatnot, but I know my Australian crew is pretty strong on YouTube. Notice how the pockets are making lots of fish, right? They're expecting their flanks to protect them. They're expecting that coverage. No dock block here, by the way. I'm a little disappointed. But, I mean, Slam's going to be going for Navy, right? That being blocked off would actually be detrimental, possibly. All right, so based on these uptimes, what do we see? Will Velez try and bypass Mentalist? I don't think he can. But that was probably the original plan. Mentalist is probably going to meet him right here with galleys. Transporting should start for the pockets pretty soon. And then it's a conversation of, do they add scouts? Do they go knights? Do they go camels? If they can, what do they do in the middle? I think Hera should flood middle with map control eventually, because he has cheap camels and cheap knights, which could be really good against the civilizations he's up against. Actually, not necessarily against the Japanese, but again, we'll see. Bom, 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 bom. Somebody said, am I still doing community games on Fridays? Yep, we did 8 hours yesterday. We had some really good games. It's not every Friday, because if things are going on, I might not be able to do it, but we've done it the last 4 Fridays. I won't be around next Friday, though. So I'll be taking a bit of a break there. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Rubenstock got through. That is huge. And Slam didn't spot it. Oh, jeez. That is just huge. Oh, Slam. That's such a big mistake. He's expecting to encounter the same number of galleys, and Hera's probably saying I'm losing fish, and now this is a nightmare scenario for Canada. Oh, what a miss. I mean, Hera's got faster ships, so he can just go zoom, but he's not bringing in food now, right? And Valis is Japanese. And he's got more fishing ships than Hera, and all of his fishing ships are working, and they're armored. And they collect, like, food faster. And now Slam's got to send Navy back to deal with that. And, I mean, this is really good for Finland. And also, I think at this point, you might even just head over to Chris if you're Rubenstock. Chris is making Navy that he was never planning on making. This fire galley is due to the fact that he's got pressure coming in. And it's good that he's making it. Like, they've got to try and recover now, but that's not what they would have wanted. Also, great hold from Rubenstock here. Slam. And just needed to track that at the very least, I think. But okay. It's not the end of the world, right? Hera didn't lose all of his fishing ships. But that did delay things. Hera's also making Navy too. It's going to be one fishing ship down for Chris. On the other side for Finland, they've got more fishing ships out. We still have to see how the fights go on the flanks, because if one person gets overtaken, it could all fall apart for either team. Very early market for Slam, I'm noticing. I'm wondering if he's going to buy and sell resources. But look at the blocking. Look at that from Chris. That is really smart, actually. He kills the galley and he blocked with his fishing ships. Doesn't lose it. Doesn't matter if your fishing ship's weak or not. It still can collect food. Do the other Finns use cube mod or just Rubenstock? I don't know these days. I know there was a point where Max, Veleza, and Rubenstock did it. I don't think Valis ever did. I don't think Veleza does. I don't know about Max, and I think Rubenstock does. Everything for Rubenstock is cubes. Yes. Now, Slam has the galley lead because Rubenstock lost ships when he got through against Canada there. So that's the downside of it. So if Slam can overtake him, then Valis might need to contribute on water. And you'll notice Valis is not doing that. He's got villagers here. He's about to hit Castle Age, and he'll drop a town center. And then we've got scouts from the Max. He's trying to disrupt TCs from Chris. And, there, there's coverage there, but he doesn't have a lot of numbers. Castle Age soon for Hera. There's his stable, so he will be adding some. Looks like he's got scouts already, actually, which is a bit interesting. So he added a stable at home. I think that was probably just due to the fact that he knew he couldn't transport at the proper time because the ship was around. Anyways, Chris did this in the other games for Canada. He just makes both his TCs in the same spot because he doesn't want to try and get another TC up if he knows there's Cav out there. But yeah, this side, Rubenstock's actually clicked up. Slam will be faster, though. This is a big move for Canada. And Chris is now actually helping Mentalist transport. And Mentalist will be slightly behind Veleza on this side, but it's not too bad. I think the Malay uptime, as Hera loses a villager there to the light cav from the Max, I think the Malay uptime could maybe really bail Canada out here in what is a very close game right now, with Canada having a slight population lead. I still remember, so it was 2020, and I asked Max, I said, Max, why do you use the cube mod? And he goes, one time I couldn't see fish, so I downloaded cube mod. That's my Max impression. Very stoic and monotone and serious. He's like, one time I couldn't see a fish. I was trying to fish and I couldn't click them properly in the moment. One time I overchopped my wood line. Download cube mod. A lot of people are like, T90, your impressions are awful. That's not what Max sounds like. No, that's exactly what Max sounds like. Okay, we have TC for Veleza. He's getting more galley. He's getting Bodkin. And Slam has already made it through, and I apologize for not bringing that up. Now, has he found the fish yet? No. There's fishing ships are in all these different areas. We do have some Navy being made by Valis right now, so he can help in this area. Rubenstock getting his upgrades now. Great job from Slam to recover. Starting to take out docks as well. So, well played from Slam. Altogether, it wasn't too bad for Canada here. Hera adapted really well. Chris adapted really well to the couple galleys that got through earlier. And Slam, does he have ballistics already? Oh my god, he's got ballistics already. Wow, that's crazy. What an advantage. And you see the runner micro there because his opponent doesn't have ballistics? That is super strong. Tough to deal with that. And it's tough if you're Valis to also focus on water at the same time because you've got all this from Hera to deal with. Hera 62 Vils, 62 Eco, I guess. It's the exact same for Valis and Max at the same time. Love what we're seeing from Chris, though. He's not being rated much at all. This was great from Max, though, finding some value against Hera. Rubenstock with a couple demos, and he does land him. That's usually desperation time. But he has stabilized here. And he doesn't have ballistics, but if he notices what Slam is doing and waits for a little bit of support from Valis, I think he could push it back. I don't even think it's that big a deal he's losing ground, or I guess losing water. The important thing was that Valis didn't get disrupted. Also, I'm noticing there's no TC yet for Mentalist. Am I missing it? Sorry, guys. I need to check. Is he fast imping or something? He has 1 TC. Did he get ballistics? He also got ballistics. Okay, so just fast ballistics on the sides for Canada. And still lots of purple running around, trying to disrupt Chris, trying to disrupt Hera. Hera's around, though, finding the max there. We will have Pikeman Monk defense for Valis, but again, he's also on water. So his land boom has been disrupted because he's got to focus on water, but it felt like it was necessary there. And Slam could start to fall behind now. Slam also doesn't have a TC on land. I think this is really bad in the long run here for Canada if they don't have TCs on land for their flank players. But as I say that, Veleza getting pushed by Mentalist, and that, you know, those are the pros and cons of this game, right? This comes at a cost, and that cost is some water control. Look at all the little green and purple dots running around. Remember I said, though, I think Hera's in a great position to carry his team a bit here because he's got cheaper stable units. And he's got an untouched boom for the time being. Mangonel also stays alive for him. He's going to try and snowball pressure on Valis. He could end up losing some fish. Again, Slam does not have a TC on the mainland, on migration. There's Mentalist. I don't know where his Vils are right now. He'll eventually try. But Veleza has held here. And no ballistics for him, so he could miss shots. And Mentalist doing the same thing we saw from Slam earlier with runners. Max is not going to help on water here. At least it doesn't look like it. Great micro from Mentalist. You can see how important the ballistics upgrade is here, guys, with how these guys micro. And we have a pause. This game is crazy close. So we'll see how things pan out here. Castle's going up for Chris. Double castle. Hill of Rats and Archers. That could be really strong. Hera's push could give Valis some problems. Oh, man. Slam's still doing a decent enough job. Also, Rubenstock still doesn't have a TC up on land either. It's just the fact that Veleza does and Mentalist is just now doing it. Okay, so somebody disconnected. They will have to restore this. Got it. We are back into this game. It has been restored. And it's always tricky for people to gain their bearings, right? Because it took like 5 minutes. You have to reset your control groups. There could be a couple fatal mistakes for immediately after this. Hera here. It's being aggressive, but Hera here with everything. And Valis is under some pressure here. Now, so is Slam, however. And remember, Slam doesn't have villagers on the mainland. And Hera could lose his fishing ships and even lose villagers on this starting island due to this little navy push. Now, on this side, and also the teams have had time to talk about what they need to change, right? Max is going to lose his fish to Mentalist. So really well played from Mentalist. And this pressure could always get over to Valis, but Valis has prepped some ships as well. But imagine being Valis right now. You have to fight on water on both sides. You have to defend from an all-in siege night push. It's just not a good time. And this is really good for Canada, I think, because part of team games is having 1 or 2 players that don't have to worry about a lot of other things. And that seems to be the situation for multiple Canadians. You've got Hera focused, looking to take map control, and you've got Chris on the way to Imp, and Chris is already on 2 castles. Sorry, looked away there. We had a shot. This is amazing for Canada. We have 46 ships for Mentalist right now, by the way. 46 is just insane. Rats and Archers for Chris. They have Bodkin Arrow right now. Imp upgrades are coming in. So he will be able to kill all the army that is out there right now. The pikemen are going to be a non-factor. The Lycav are going to be a non-factor. And just like we had said about Canada in game number 1, they just have players who could do what they need to do and handle their business. And Mentalist is a big part of that. Chris and Hera also doing a great job at that right now. So you can kind of see, I mean, I was saying it was a negative for Mentalist. He didn't have his TC up. But this is actually a big positive for them, isn't it? Because he's doing so much right now for his team on water. And I think the key in this game is that Valis had to switch into pikes to stay alive. And now he's up against archers, which is just the worst feeling. Because you're spending food, delaying your Imperial Age time, and you're not even staying alive. You didn't even save your TC. All that's still a big problem. So, oh god, don't tell me this castle gets denied. Oh my god, he doesn't complete this castle. Max is 20 seconds away from him. Max could maybe get Cavalier. I still feel like the Ratson number is just going to be so crazy. Remember earlier in this series when we saw Vietnamese and it was Finland, an African clearing? Remember how teammates had to die to get to that? That's not the case here. I mean, you might look at Slam and say, okay, Slam has fallen off a little bit on water, but he's actually on par with Rubenstock's at right now. I don't really know how Veleza contributes in the long run. Yeah, he's got lands boom. I guess, though, they have to keep Valis alive. And lots of blinking. Lots of villagers that could get ranged. Lots of houses that will eventually go down. Fishing ships for Valis will eventually die as well, though they are still fishing. I am surprised that Chris doesn't have Trebs yet. Maybe that's something Hera's going to do for the team. But I've been waiting to see some trebuchets from Chris. To pressure Max in some way, but maybe he felt like he needs the Rattan mask more than anything right now. Cavalier for Max. Completing in a moment. And full armor. These Rattans are not elite yet. Chris is actually going to switch into pikes. That's interesting. You see how Valis was trying to buy himself time, or Veleza, excuse me. Confusing to have two great players on the same team with those names. And Valis will be an imp. Veleza will be an imp. That'll be 3 players in imp for Finland. Rubenstock is finding it tough to contribute on water now. So he's just given up on it, and he will not be in this game with much. Mentalist has the water, and Mentalist can try and take the land, but this is not a great TC spot for him. Canada with better economy, but it's not insane, and Max is getting Paladin now. Hera's getting Cavalier. I think that Finland's could actually do this. There have been instances on Migration where, you know, you have someone on water. I experienced this for USAA. I played the water role. I top score feeling like a beast with Byzantines. And then all of a sudden, it's like, guys, we're losing land. And then I'm not helping on land. I don't have eco on land, like Mentalist. And then it's an issue. So, you know, maybe. Still no elite Rats and Archer. That's a big upgrade we need to see. I'm sure we'll see it, though, from Chris. And Finland just kind of buying time, right? Like, there's this massive army for Canada. That's kind of funny. Lithuanian monk. Oop. Canada has no siege. They have not pushed at all to take these positions. They're now going to try and run in, though. Max using his cubes. I'm not sure, but he is going to try and get these walls down, and he's not going to get them. But Paladin will still complete for the Max. He's going to have 35 Paladins. That's no joke. This is also really difficult to deal with and really annoying right now if you're Finland. That is a really tough choke point to deal with right now if you're Max. But Hera is kind of on his own over here. And now he's bringing Trebs, but I think we're going to have Valis try and win that Treb war now that he's got helps. Because the Rattans are stuck in one spot. Max deleting his stables here. Paladin's in. He'll have full upgrades in a minute. This could be really good. And Valis is trying to trap him! Valis is trapping the army! Canada's gone too far! And the Rats and Archers cannot support Hera's attempts here, where he just has Cav and Japanese Halberdiers could eat. Now, the Rats and Archers, again, they're just now become elite. You got a couple skirms from Veleza, though, for Finland. That's going to help out more than you know. And this could swing massively, even though Finland's so far behind. Like, that was a really good play to trap that army. Keep in mind that Canada's army count has 45 ships in it, right? So, like, half of the army right now for Canada is ships. It is not anything here on land. I don't know. I assume Hera maybe deleted that castle because he saw the trebuchets. But now, what does Hera do? How do you stop that many paladins, guys? And remember, Veleza can contribute on land. We will have 3 players on land for Finland. It is just only going to be 2 for Canada. This is a really good game. Now, Slam's going to come in eventually. He's got a great economy. Mentalist will come in eventually. But will Hera and will Chris be alive when that happens? We do have some Trebs on this side, which Max is using against the castle currently from Chris. The trebuchets from Valis, though, can come forward here and start to take out Chris's castle here. And you see Hera's like, oh god, I need camels now. Something he wasn't doing before, which you could maybe question, because Paladin was their biggest threat. I don't know if you can truly question it that much, though, because he's up against Japanese halbs either way. Look at Finland fight back here. That's a lot of Lithuanian skirms, which neutralizes everything Chris is making. Hun trebuchets are more accurate, so Chris is losing this Trebor. He will then lose more castles. There's paladins everywhere from Max, with no end in sight to that. We still have, like, Navy from random spots for Mentalist. Mentalist still hoping to come into it with something. But Finland, even though they're still behind 100 eco, they just have more army. They've got better army, at least for the time being. And now we've Rubenstock and Imp. I want to see, actually. Do I have tribute events on? I think I do. Okay. The Rubenstock's going to go for Elite Eagle Warriors. He doesn't have any right now, and he's probably behind on upgrades, but a lot of map control right now for Finland's. And it's really just the Treb push, which was something I thought Hera and Chris could and maybe should have done. More walling here from Veleza. And he keeps all the halbs away. Beautiful. And Chris will lose more and more ground. Wow. That was a crazy push. Now look at Slam. Slam's going to go elephants with the melee. Elephants. And Valis doesn't have the halb number here to support his trebuchets, but he's going to go Japanese towers, Isama hype. Those halbs can fight the camels really well, and they can fight the elephants really well. Valis just needs to make sure the eco's set up for it. He doesn't really have the best economy anymore, remember. Wow. Army count much higher than it was a moment ago for Canada. As they're trying to invest into the land, they will now have a 3rd player joining. We will eventually maybe have Mentalist join as well. Mentalist is making elephant archers. A great play, usually. I'm not sure if the Dravidian elephant archers will be that good here. I think they do fire faster, which could be helpful. Hera's camels. They needed Cav to fight off the skirmishers here, so here he is. That is a lot of skirmishers. And camels don't do that well against castle fire, against halbs as well. And the camels for Hera all melting here. Still no guard tower for Valis, though. Paladin raids from Max, taking Hera off of some of that gold, and that's an issue. Most of Hera's camels died, but look at the cheap Malay elephants showing up now. Chonk, chonk, chonk. Great against skirms. Great against eagles. Pretty good against paladins. Not good against halbs. And can they continue to afford them? Guard towers in now. Canada's had the lead in this game for a long time. It's just, can Finland bring it back? Look at these elephant archers go. So Tato told me a couple months ago that Dravidian elephant archers are broken. And elephant archers, when they were released, they kind of sucked, and they've received a lot of buffs. And so, anyways, it's a unit that some players feel like, even with the Dravidians, is underrated. Look at these guys. Oons, oons, oons. It's high HP. It's hard to kill. I mean, it's the same with the Malay elephants, right? Like, super cheap, but really high HP, gets a lot of value. And it seems to be working, the elephant decision. But guys, Valis, he can't push anymore. He doesn't have land economy, right? And he's still got random ships surrounding him. So I think Valis just can't contribute with halbs anymore. And halb is the most important thing that they need here. At least that's what I think. Elite Elephant Archer wasn't even in before. Elite Elephant Archer will be coming in. And look how together the economy and the army looks for the Canadians. Everyone's got a solid economy. We didn't have a trade cog right there for Slam. Let's go. Yeah, the eco's solid. The production's set. That's not the case for Finland. And Valis, who is so important to the initial push with the Max, is the one who's really taking the hits. Well played from Hera here. He and Chris were paying attention to this area all the time. Denying that TC, for example. Big shot. Great micro from Chris. I mean, the guy was one of the best players in the mid-2000s, and he's come back for Nations Cup. He's just so valuable to have on this team. I think Game 3 probably going to go to Canada if this continues this way. I'm not seeing an area where Finland's really pushing. They haven't progressed here much more. And the issue for Canada before was that they didn't have Trebs once they had the military lead in the middle. They will have the Trebs now, and those Trebs should start to take out the castles from Valis, the buildings from Rubenstock. And Eagle is actually one of the worst things you could have gone into here, if you think about it. Against Cavalier, against Elephants, and against Elephant Archers. But what else do you do as Incas? I guess Kameyuks, but he didn't have any map control, so... Like, Eagles was a good thing to try. I just want to reiterate that. But it hasn't seemed like it's really done anything since Rubenstock showed up with a couple of them. And maybe it's a numbers thing, too. Like, maybe if he had 60 Eagles, then it's a different story. And Chris adding towers. And Chris holding. Might end up falling back in a second, but look at this push. Sheesh! Wow, very nice recovery from Canada initially or in this game. Great job from Mentalist and from Slam on the flanks. And then Hera and Chris dominating the middle, man. Do you guys think that it was a mistake from Veleza to go for the TCs in the middle? I don't think so, personally. I think, like, we saw him here to help out on land so much earlier than Mentalist. I just think there's a lot of pros and cons in what type of decision you make. And if anything, I think Valis having to support on water on both sides, well, particularly his side, was what hurt a lot here. Like, I think Slam ended up outplaying Rubenstock, which put pressure on Valis on water, and then didn't allow him to free boom because Hera was able to just solely focus on him. And then the double whammy really was when he went Pikes to defend from Hera's push after already taking losses, and then the Rattan showed up. Like, at that point, Rubenstock's kind of out of it. Valis is struggling. Max shows up, almost wins it for them with that push back. Then I guess Veleza was there as well at that time. But great job from Chris and Hera to hold together there. Great production, great eco, great balance. And yeah, we had trade cogs from Canada, by the way. They were already starting to trade on water, which is pretty cool to see. I think hitting Valis, not the Max, was a great shout. How we're actually more scary than Paladins long term. Yeah, when they did it, it was really good. Actually, more than anything, though, it's not even what's scary. It's just forcing your opponent into some army to defend in Castle Age was huge. Like, think about how Chris had played this, right? Played into eco, but then he just dropped castles freely at home. There was never any question if he'd get those castles up. Same with Hera. Because it was Canada being the aggressors on land, the better aggressors on land. Okay. So this has been a back and forth series. Canada won the first game, lost the second. They then win the third. Here's a couple other stats for people that are interested in what happened there. Mentalist with the better KD for Canada. And I'd expect Finland to have something prepared to bounce right back. A lot of people are expecting this to go to 7 games, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does. Actually, I don't even know if all these stats are accurate because I think the restore means we lost some data, right? So if anything, what I should go to is I should go to the in-game stats. That's more accurate. Okay. Actually, is that the same? It's not the same. Okay, interesting. So yeah, I'll just use the in-game stats. We won't have some of the details that Capture Age shows. Yeah, very well played though. GG. Game number 3. Wall's important. Black Forest time, and we're catching up the speed here. And we've got Rubenstock for Finland up against Hera on the flank here for Canada. And we're going to introduce it by flanks because that's important. We've got Valis as the Ethiopians here in the orange and a very open generation against Slam. As for the pockets, or the middle players for each team, and the purple for Finland, we have the Max, who's playing as the Tatars. In the yellow here, we have Celts for Veleza. And then in the teal, we have Chris playing as the Celts as well. So double Celt. And then we have Franks for Mensla's pocket. So Slam's the most experienced Black Forest player on Team Canada. This is probably one of their weakest maps here, Canada, is Black Forest, which is why it's a Finland's home map. Definitely doesn't suit Hera's skill set. I don't think it's a map Hera's played a lot. Probably why they put Hera on the flank here. And why they put some of the other players in other positions. So, I would guess, based on how this map is looking right now, that we're going to see Rubenstock with the Poles go for some type of a tower play. Try and push Hera. So, good from Hera to get the walls down, so the Poles can't go for any Vilrush shenanigans, but still something he's got to worry about. And, I mean, this side is super open, so Slam's actually going to go for a barracks here. We're going to see a little bit of Drush action from him. And I wonder if Valis is going to be expecting this. It almost looks like Valis is going fast archers because he's making a mining camp already. And if there's going to be the flanks going for aggression, that means they need to basically protect their pockets, as the pockets will likely go fast castle. And here we have... Ooh, a sneak... Oh, that's Hera's base. I'm so stupid. No, Hera's against a wolf. He should be able to wall that, right? Yeah, there you go. Wall it or just kill it. Villager survives. But yeah, I had talked about how like very cold countries have a lot of good gamers, and how it's because people don't have as much reason to go outside. It's too cold to go outside, so you stay inside and play very long video games. Oh, Rubenstock's gonna try and take out this house here from Hera. Ooh, this could go down. This is, oh boy, this could ruin some plans here for sure for Canada. Interesting. You have Veleza, Scout. Here with Rubenstock, Scout. That house is going to be a goner. And Rubenstock even made a gate through there somehow. But yeah, you know, so we were talking about that. Doesn't Finland also have like one of the best StarCraft players of all time in Cyril? I don't know if he's considered like the GOAT still, or like, I guess the GOAT is the greatest of all time, right? It should only be one of them. So I don't know if his career's been long enough for that, but I'm pretty sure that that dude is just insane. T90, I will admit that I'm biased, but I'm Canadian, and it's definitely not fun to go outside when it's snowing and annoying. Yeah, okay, so you play some Age. Get it. Anyways, what is Rubenstock going to do? Well, we'll see. It's interesting, but he's found the pond here from the opponent. So he's going to try and disrupt that. He does not want to allow a fish boom here for Chris. That's an interesting one. Veleza, by the way, over here with fishing ships. Valis is one of the best BF players in the world, by the way, for those that don't have this context. Veleza's also insane, is played in Black Forest tourneys. Max just booms on any map, and he's instantly one of the best players. And then Rubenstock is really annoying player. And he's good at that. Hera walls him in temporarily. I mean, that's not very creative, but that's not actually going to do anything. So I'm excited to see how this will transpire. Hera's on the way to Feudal Age faster than Rubenstock, though. So we'll see how this plays out. We do have a wall here from Rubenstock, so it's not like Hera can run through. Hera's villager is weaker. We're also playing on the old patch, so the villagers, excuse me, guys, getting a little distracted by something here. The villagers do regen in the Dark Age for the Poles on the patch we're playing right now. So Slam went Drush with the militia. He's going double archer range. And Valis is just going one range for now. So it's just going to be an archer war between Mayans and Ethiopians. We do have a stable from Mensla's, and he's starting to make scouts. But in my opinion, this is really bad. So I played in the Black Forest tourney that just recently ended. And Valis' team made the finals, by the way. and I learned that the pocket going for scouts is usually bad in the long run because the teams are always going to wall. So unless this player here could damage the Max, or I guess damage like Veleza, which could happen here in a second, I don't see it as being very good. Okay, we'll see. You could tell they're trying to wall this, and Velez is like, here, let me help. Just Finland things. Look at the teamwork. Because they know scouts could be coming through. So let's see how it pans out. Max is going to be going fast castle, right? So it is all Valis on this side. He will be doubled. And here is a random Hera villager being attacked by a wolf, also bringing in 2 boars. That's kind of fun. Hera was fast feudal, but for what? He hasn't accomplished anything. And now we've got a militia from Rubenstock, a fire galley to kill the fishing ships here from Chris. Chris is going fire galleys to save his pond, which is less than ideal. And the scouts from Mentalist have not accomplished anything. It could go through here, though. This is still open. So Valis has his work cut out for him in defense. Okay, Hera shoots the wolf. Hera's going to kill the boars. Very well done. Yep, he's going to have the food. And I think you consider it a positive if Chris is making fire ships to protect his pond, if you're Rubenstock. Scouts and archers ran through here. We knew this could happen. Valis could always take this gold, but looks like he realized in the last minute there. But again, he's fine. Max will be fast castle, has a stable waiting here. Feels like he will support with some army. And then Veleza has a stable here as well, and it feels like he will siege push Hera and siege push against Chris. Now, Chris is a stable too, I guess. So both Celt players will be going knights, which is interesting. Now, the wolf was helping, but there's no way that you, like, aggro the wolf for it to be intentional. But Hera obviously was able to make it happen due to the wolf being there. Notice how there's no wall yet here for Chris. Like, that's all this is about, right? Finland's just like, oh, he's not walled? Perfect. And he's going to see Palisade walls? Like, yeah, good luck with that one. Hera's made some archers, by the way. I also would say good luck there as well. Good luck doing damage. But Canada has more army for the time being. Canada has done, overall, a pretty good job at disrupting the plans... Or stopping the plans from getting out of control that are up against them, but I still do feel like Valis' position is quite strong. We'll see what his Castle Age time ends up being compared to Slam's, though. Slam's economy is probably better. He's also probably going to use the market. There was a big demo shot a moment ago from Rubenstock that I missed. I knew he was saving it, though, so he's going to try his best to just kill these fire ships. And, I mean, he doesn't have as much production, right? So, great job from Chris. But now Chris isn't walling in full. So, you know, the Knight Siege situation that was already going to get out of hand could get out of hand here soon. Archers moving forward here from Valis. And they're faster firing archers. Good control for him. Scouts from Mentalist are weak, but they will come try and support. Mentalist walling behind just in case, as you should do. Chris going for an instant 3 TC boom here. He is not expecting what is about to happen here. And the knight is through, and now Chris will know he needs to support Hera. Hera, I know what you're thinking. This Black Forest map isn't fun. Bro, playing on Team Viper, same stuff happened to me all the time, bro. My favorite was when I was Pocket, and I had 50 army versus 3 people, and Viper had 6 army. That was probably my favorite game. I'm kidding. Viper played really well. Don't let him hear that I said that he was a poor captain. He was a good captain. I'm glad I was picked. I probably won't sign up for the next tournament, but, you know, I played. Oh, God. Now Valis is stonewalling here, too? Oh, God. So now it won't be easy for Mentalist to help. I guess he could run around this way, though. But this just means the Knights from Max, in combination with Valis, could go over towards Slam, who's now separated from the team. I love it. Hera tries to trap the Knights. That's not going to happen. And Monastery denied here. Rubenstock was trying to wall here to prevent Chris from adding some support. And good job from Chris to add the support. He defended his pawns as well. We don't have monks yet for Veleza, so the knight numbers matter the most. And Chris doing a pretty good job in that regard. Economy, Finland has the lead. Control, Finland has the lead, but it's nothing crazy. And Hera's got army to contribute. Attack ground there on the knights. Pretty smart probably not to open up this gate. Hera has to be careful with his crossbowmen. I think from here, Rubenstock, when he makes it to the next stage, will just try and boom. I think that would make the most sense. Or a castle drop. Either extreme. And let's see if Slam can hold on his own here. Max is going to be ahead of the economy we're seeing from Mentalist. But Mentalist is going to be sending knights maybe to the other side right now. Because he can't go this way anymore. The walls were able to go down for Finland. And once Valis is up with crossbowmen, with Max's knights, and maybe even some siege, it could be a problem. But look at Slam, dude. He's doing a great job here. Hera, micro. Good micro. Okay. Pressure could come in, but it's not an all-in type of push from Veleza, because he's booming as well. So really interesting. Also fish booming. Slam can't break through, though. Like, my thought process here is if they add siege in combination with all this, this could be horrible for Slam. He's Inca flank. He's got the weakest eco on the team. He has great army, though, and he's one of the best micro players in the game, so... He's got more crossbowmen than his opponent, so this could be good. Slam sees that there's going to be some knights here. But, I mean, they don't have +2 armor, right? I think Slam should be fighting here. I think he will. I think this could be great for Canada. I think he denies the Siege Workshop and Slam just kills everything here. Wow. What was that positioning of the Siege Workshop for Valis? You literally just need one Mangonel and everything's fine. Why try and make the Siege Workshop forward there? I don't get it. But I guess they didn't expect Slam would have that much, so I'm being a little too brutal. Canada, much larger army count right now. Not falling behind in the eco as much as you would think would be possible. The Siege Workshop, had it gone up, would have done enough to push Slam behind his walls. But we do see the second town center for Valis, who will pull ahead of Slam economically. We already have Max ahead of the economy of Mentalist. But it's not, again, it's not really that significant. Oh my god. He's adding another Siege Workshop. Valis, dude, what's going on here, bro? 67 eco for Chris. It is 74 for Veleza. So that's not too bad. Hera, 64 villagers. Rubenstock, 41. And Canada's got the lead in this one now. Their eco is actually past Finland as I'm talking about it. And they, you know, the players that could have been vulnerable, could have had problems, have not taken lots of damage. Very well played from Slam to hold on this side. And well played from Mentalist to try and fight back, because this could be a problem. But this is the second time Valis tried to make a Siege Workshop. I think maybe still their approach could work here. Slam is one big shot to the dome away from him possibly dying. And these knights might not break through, by the way. The knights might need to back away. Yeah, Mentalist needs to add his own siege. You may have already talked about it, but how come Finland went Poles as flank instead of Tatars? I think for the Vil War. Poles are really good for the Vil War. And the thing about Poles in team games is because they lack the final armor and they don't get Paladin. Their best unit type might even be Archer, which is a bit against their identity. And even then, there's a lot of civs that do that better, so... Poles is good for the Vil Warring, making it messy. Britons are a much better Black Forest civilization, so I actually think in that way, the civs have been more suited towards Black Forest for Team Canada. But if you think about it, if you're a Team Finland and you feel like you're better on this map, you might want to save some civilizations for other maps. Redemption's in, Redemption is in for these monks. Valis backing away. Could be a double conversion here. Gets one. He could kill one with it. Gets it. 2 Mangonels out of the picture. Again, beautiful play from Slam here. Very impressive. Now, imagine if the siege was there earlier, right? Slam didn't have Redemption then. It gave him time. How good is this guy with Archer play, by the way? This is insane. He's got 42 archers. Just literally give him a galley civ on Migration or Islands, or give him Archer Civilization on any other map as Mentalist kills his own units. If you give Slam flank ranged unit, he's one of the best players in the game. He didn't get Sanctity, bro. I take it back. Guys, that's such a crucial upgrade. Oh, okay. So Sanctity gives your monks more HP. And without Sanctity, as we see... Oh, more big shots. Without Sanctity, your monks get one-shotted by Siege. With Sanctity, it takes a second hit, which means he probably would have converted all the Siege there. Anyways, Chris is through. Mentalist is through. Slam can still move out. So they've broken that wall there. But it could have been a little better for Slam. Let's just say that. And, you know, it could have been better for everyone in this game, and particularly Rubenstock. As Rubenstock, he's dropped a forward castle trying to break in against Hera. But Hera's going to drop a defensive castle and click up to Imp. Hera, by the way, Imp resources. Needs to click. Has done so in one of these TCs, and there he goes. Onager's on the way for Veleza already. I don't know if you guys picked up on that. But that's pretty insane. We will also have Imp in a minute for the max. But Rubenstock, again, possibly the weak link here for Finland. Valis needs some support here. Otherwise, this castle from Slam goes up on his face. Slam still doesn't have Sanctity. I cannot believe that. And he has to remove that castle foundation. Very well played from Valis to realize Sanctity wasn't in. And to actually, like, delete a hole, move units around to be able to delay that castle. It's going to be Keshix for Max as his unit type. And he's going to be an Imp, but he only has one castle. But he could maybe treb this castle from behind some walls here, which would be pretty nice. Slam no Sanctity. Big surprise here. Rubenstock, he's going to try and go cheap knights. Hera's going to go for longbows instead of arbalest. Some players question that at times because of the production speed of longbows being much slower. But overall, I think Chris is going to be the one who trebs down this castle and does the work for him there. So Hera is going to be more of the important player when it comes to military for Team Canada on that side. But Siege Onager is on the way for Veleza. And, I mean, the Siege Onager timing could just brutalize Hera. I know he's got good micro, but you have to run away from the Siege Onagers with the longbows. It's hit and run. And now Slam's castle is just going to be trebbed down. Slam's not even on the way to Imp. That castle's looking pretty suspect right now. And they're going to quickly try and just get walls down. So the Max cannot come run through here and clear this up. By the way, Valis better economy than Slam, despite having way less army. He's now imping as well, which is very well done. Slam hasn't clicked yet, so he invested into a lot of army. Couldn't kill Valis. It is amazing how good these are. And Valis got a Vil through! He snuck a Vil here! What a god! Oh, this is really bad for Canada now. This is extremely bad for Canada. Look at Chris. Chris is to make the trebs for the team, and he's gone for some pikes. Let's see how long that lasts. Well, actually, much better than I expected. Well, okay. Well, okay. Well done. He does kill the Siege Onager, but he just completes Onager. We've got Siege Onager and forward castles and trebs on the way for Veleza already. Slam's going to get overrun on this side by Keshik. Slam might actually be defeated. Slam, you need 16 layers of Stonewall now. And you need to hope your opponent forgets that they can cut through the trees to come kill you. Hera needs to be killing now. Hera and Mentalist and Chris, they need to push this side. Slam will be a goner. This is pretty ridiculous. How many longbows does Hera have? 8? Oh, God. He's got 8? I guess he tried to make trebs, too. Rubenstock's going to get slots of privilege, so he could spam Cavalier. He hasn't done much beyond trebs with the fast imp, but he does have 130 villagers now. He's really caught up there. And Veleza's got Elite Woad Raider. He's in Siege Onager. Chris is still 2 minutes from Siege Onager. The castle goes down for Chris. And, okay, big push here. How did Mentalist get through? Oh, they Onager cut. So Mentalist could go in after Valis. So that was an onager from Chris. That was a big moment. And still the Finns just will not die. Is Slam imping yet? Slam's not imping yet. No! This could be so bad. Elite Keshik from the max. Oh no! You do have a Cavalier buffer. But Keshiks are actually stronger than Cavalier in my opinion. If we're talking Elite Keshik versus just the Cavs, I prefer Keshik. Plus you get a trickle of gold. But you've got way more HP. And you're just down 1 base attack. That's the big difference. Oh, man. Meanwhile, splat. Hera gets splatted. Hera's going to be defeated here. And it all falls apart. It's crazy, man. Like, the top Black Forest teams, they have the timings down with their walls and where they pressure, when they hit, who they hit. And the second I saw Rubenstock getting the forward walls and Valis getting the forward walls, I had felt like, okay, this is going to be Finland's game. And then Canada was doing such a good job at thwarting the attacks. But it's like, at what cost? Slam stuck in Castle Age, and now Hera's got 3 army and getting elite longbow. And even if you get to your army composition against the best Black Forest players, they have the best position in the game. And they have all the momentum. Finland only has a 50 population lead. And yet, like, I mean, I guess that's going to change soon. And yet it doesn't feel like, to me, that Canada has any chance in coming back from this one. I mean, Siege Onager is in right now for Chris. We should mention that's important. World Raiders here from Veleza going in for those Siege Onagers. Rams are exposed. Hera's using villagers against Rams. That's exciting. There's also Cavalier from Rubenstock, though, so maybe that's not, and Rubenstock's going to have 30 more soon. The forward castle from Rubenstock will likely go up. Veleza still focusing down every single Siege Onager. And Slam just clicked up to Imp. Wow. That is ridiculous. We will have Paladin in for Mentalist soon, but I think this is going to be a 2-2 series. And the GG is called. Finland takes it right back, guys. What a great performance from them there. I think Canada performed better on Black Forest than I expected from them, and still they just kind of got smashed. Yeah, I think, again, the forward walling. Valis, for as questionable as his Siege Workshop placement was initially, made up for it with a crazy boom. Like, he had so little army compared to Slam, and he had a great economy, was able to boom under pressure. Re-walling here was also extremely important. And even Rubenstock recovered really well, right? Like, Rubenstock was 40 fills behind Hera. And, like, what was Hera's army high in this game? He has 17 army at the time of this game being finished. Military, army high for Hera, 18. That has to be better, right? Is that me being overly critical? That has to be better when you've got that big of a Vil lead over Rubenstock, I think. Even still, I think, then Veleza had such a big lead over Chris with his timings. Hera probably has some trouble, but Hera not being able to get over 20 army, I think it just goes back to he's not comfortable in this type of position. He's not used to this type of map. And the play from Finland just... It had them maybe in autopilot a little bit on that side and not realizing the importance of maybe pushing the position. I think Hera should have gone ARBs. I think Elite Longbow is fine. It's actually better against Siege Onagers because the extra range and the extra attack, which you kind of want to value. But I think he maybe boomed like he was a Paladin civilization. Like, he had too much on food and too little on stone to get the castles up. Rubenstock played very well, though. He got the forward wall down as well, never allowed Hera to pressure him. And anyways, a good game. Series is 2-2. So game 5, probably the worst to not be in immediately when it's live. There was no delay, though, and here we are. This has been an amazing series, and I hope we can conclude it here. There's a chance I'll miss the final games, but we'll get there. if we get there. We've got Rubenstock flank playing as the Goths. In the yellow, we've got Valis playing as the Magyars. In the purple, we have the Max playing as the Franks. And then in the orange, we have Byzantines for Veleza. Blue Slam playing as the Goths. Green, Hera playing as the Magyars. Teal, Mentalist playing Khmer. And then last but not least, we have Byzantines for Chris. So we have Magyars and Byzantines and Goths for both. It's just the Franks and the Khmer, the differentiators here. On this map, there's no gold in the middle, guys. It's very different, so pay attention. You've got double berry bushes. You've got some stone. To get gold, you get to the outer ring. So usually players want to lumber camp the outside. I've noticed Hera has not done that. Now, Hera is going to be set up to go scouts in the middle. That's a team thing. If he needs gold, he could always leave through his teammates' sides in theory. But I've seen this map before. Not in this tournament, but many other tournaments. It's not a new map. It is one of my favorites. I've never fully agreed with not lumber camping the outside. But there's a lot more trees here, and it can lead to more efficiency, and more efficiency can lead to more scouts, and that's what Hera wants. So if there's a world where Hera's done really well in the middle, that's great. If there's a world where Hera's doing well, and then, oh crap, I have no gold, this is not so good. Every single player other than Hera has lumber camped the outside. Actually, no. Chris is not going to either. They're going for the efficient lumber camps, I guess. Now, Khmer can be kind of fun because your villagers can hop in and out of houses. So if you do get attacked, you can save yourself. So maybe Mentalist will use this house kind of like a gate. But yeah, normally you see that walled up. But I foresee the Byzantines making a lot of trash units. So it's kind of interesting how we have the Byzantines on opposite sides. There was a chance it could have been Byzantine v. Byzantine. Someone says Lostville on Woodline. Who Lostville on Woodline? Eco KD. Oh, Valis. Oh, Valis killing a villager from Mentalist. Was that here then? All right. Well, thanks for saying T90 blind. Here we had a lot of scouts from Finland trying to do the same to Hera. So that was probably just communicated. So pain for Mentalist as he's down a villager. That hurts. Especially in the early game. And did I show that on screen? Imagine I did. That's an underrated strat, by the way. Is everyone group up your scouts together and use them in Dark Age here because everyone's so close. However, if your scouts have full HP, it's going to be even stronger in the Feudal Age too. So you definitely have to make sure the walls are down and everyone's protected. T90, is this the same map in which Rubenstock TC dropped both Hart and Hera years ago? And Leary. He TC dropped 3 people, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, the Legend of Rubenstock video started on this map. And we were talking about if he would do it here. I don't think he'll TC drop. I think he's just going to play standard. But I could see it even with the Goths. Because everyone's so close, right? So you can justify it. You don't need to run very far for the next person. So team walling starting. Walling towards those wood lines. I like the gate here from Valis. Everyone's on the way to Feudal Age. I expect a bunch of scouts and spearmen. I think only one player will have skirms, and that's probably going to be Chris. But we might even see double barrack spearmen here. I think it would actually make sense. Max and Rubenstock, both with their scouts here. Noticing Chris's walling. Where's the scout for Mentalist right now? Scout for Mentalist is in the middle. And there's a signal from Chris, and that's like, hey, I need to help you. And Hera is saying, hey, team, Mentalist, you don't go there, you come here. Hera loses his scout, though. Oh. Okay, Spearman on the way, though, for Chris. He is adding the range. Oh, but there's going to be 3 scouts for Finland here. They're going to actually fight off the Spearman. But how do they coordinate together, right? If you have 3 scouts, you fight that off yourself. It's like, guys, 3, 2, 1. We're all weak. Nah, you back away. Whatever noise that is, I don't even know what that is, actually. Does anyone know the noise when you make it to Feudal? Is that something? Or is that just the noise? Anyways, it played a bunch of times right there. Well done from Chris. Well done from Finland, though, to get a good team wall going. Both teams trying to get a team wall. I love this map. Byzantine spearmen should be everywhere. Let's see how things pan out. Is Chris planning on a forward tower here? Looks like maybe he wants to tower that stone. I think it should be pretty easy for Rubenstock just to build a counter tower. But, I mean, Byzantine should have an advantage versus the Goths overall in general here. So, I would expect the, like, Rubenstock and Slam to maybe have rougher games than others. Tricky to find out where all the scouts are going. There's Hera's scouts being found by Max's scouts. And there's an early tower from Rubenstock, so he doesn't get completely overwhelmed here. I like this, though. Nice little chip away damage on the spears. And this is still open for Hera and his team. Slam also going skirms. So it's not cheaper for him, but he's got the skirms out there. Goth's kind of a throwaway pick for both players. You get Loom instantly. Kind of feels like it's beneficial in the early game. This is going to be a long series, probably going to Game 7. So it's understandable how they played this. Canada has more army right now. The only big takeaway I'm getting is that we have forward villagers from Chris. And Chris didn't tower before. Rubenstock thought he would, so he just made a tower. And now Rubenstock cannot counter tower this, right? So he has to just place house walls and palisades. And how am I supposed to cast this? This is like the most random mix of units ever. So good luck. I wish I could almost do team colors here to separate the teams. I'm just going to let you look at it and determine who's winning because I'm not entirely sure right now. But the tower does go up for Chris, and maybe he's determined to make more. Isn't on stone, though, so he cannot do that. Tower fire is going to be helpful in these fights. So every single Finnish player has to be careful not to stand too close to the tower. I think this whole fight was better for Finland, though. I'm seeing more spearmen out for Finland. Chris actually just doesn't have a lot of army at all. And, like, here, Hera takes an engagement, but again, there's still more spearmen there for Veleza. I don't know, though. By the way, Veleza's through. Veleza has chopped through. Slam is not chopped through. He didn't micro his lumberjacks through. Wow, okay. Rubenstock's going to be through. We know Chris is never going to leave. And this will eventually be a chop through for Mentalist, but they have to think about that. And I've seen this before, guys. I think, based on the scouting, oh, wow, they don't actually know where the chopping is right now for Slam as I look back to the fights. But they want to stone wall behind Slam. That's the idea, is not allow Slam to leave. Then Slam and Hera would both be stuck in the middle. So he's going to make outposts. But he's actually just missed it here. Veleza. And obviously he's doing other things as well. Like, he's not going to find the right spots because he's doing this. And he's losing a fight now, too. Oh, he needs to double check. But how can he focus on that when all of this is happening? We have a tower from Valis. Hera's looking to break through here. And there's not many yellow scouts on the field. In fact, there's just more army right now for Canada in general. There's army everywhere. Look at Slam spamming. Slam top score with Goths. And Valis, with full panic mode, needs to get his scouts out. But he traps his own scouts because he knows Hera could get through. Horrible for Finland. It'd be even worse, though, if Hera actually breaks through here, though. So you have to stop him from doing that. And, wow, everything fell apart there. Meanwhile, Outpost is up. And this has been spotted at the perfect time. You just place a couple stone walls there and you're fine. Hera's scouts still unable to break through. Max has 11 scouts to maybe be able to help. Hera doesn't have bloodlines yet. And Canada just looking to take the fight in the middle. They have not concerned themselves with the outside at all. Here, though, we have villagers from Valis that will be found by Mentalist. So Mentalist thinking about the outside, chopping through, will stonewall this off now and kill both of those villagers. Very well played from Mentalist. And crucial, right? Because we could see that that seems to be a big part of the strategy for Finland. Slam won't make it through. Hera wasn't even attempting to chop through. But the approach of staying in the middle has worked. Both he and Mentalist have done a much better job with the scouts. And, you know, eventually someone could break here for Finland. But they just haven't yet. Remember, Rubenstock's through. He's out now. And he looks like he's even adding spears. He's going to wall up so scouts don't run through there. Okay. Outposts continue for Veleza. He's probably like, okay, I guess Hera isn't trying to chop through or something. And he's going to place a tower back there so Slam can't even eventually chop through the other trees. So positive, obviously, right now for Finland is just the fact that Slam can't get gold. Big positive as well is Valis is going to be in castle. And Valis could get gold if he could find the gold, maybe make some knights. But I don't think Valis is going to be in a position to do that, really. He could maybe boom. Look at this. Tower from Chris. Skirms everywhere. Houses. Defense, defense, defense for Finland. If they keep this out, they have a good chance. Max is now on the way to Castle Age as well. And Slam is on the way to Castle Age without gold. He can't get gold. Guys, if Hera would have made a lumber camp on this area, he would have been through, and then Slam could go that way, and it'd be fine. It's such a pro and con situation, I guess, because he probably had a better start because he placed the lumber camp closer and more efficiently to all this, but I just wonder if Canada's going to end up living to regret the fact they just can't get gold with all their players. Okay, Valis is going to go Knights, or he's going to boom. But both, maybe. He's just going to drop a second TC for now. He doesn't know where the gold is, actually. He hasn't found any that someone isn't taking anyways. And Feudal Age army is pretty massive, but we haven't actually seen anyone get through. As Slam soon has enough stone for a castle. Okay, he does now. Is he going to castle to get out? No, dude, you have to castle the front. Yeah. This is the way. Castle drop an area. That way you can definitely get through. And then it could be panic time for Finland. I like that from Slam a lot. Slam drops a castle. Once that's completed, this is going to open up eventually. Veleza doesn't have enough for a castle. Also, it's going to be kind of tricky to have an answer for Huskarls. And is there a hole there? There's their tree. Okay. Hera's trying to pressure on this side because it's Goths and Goths can't stonewall. It looks like a hole there to me. I'm going to assume there isn't, though, right? Because he would have plugged the gap or Hera would be through. Okay, just house walls galore here for the Goth player. Slam's castle is up. We have more stone walls behind all this. And Max is going to have to help out with stone walls. He's going to be going knights. Max is on golds. We have golds for Rubenstock. We have golds now for Valis, who actually will have the Vil lead for his team soon. Hera, still no gold income. He's going to be making Light Calf, which is fantastic, obviously. Let's see if he can do anything with it once they break through this house. You get the attack upgrades for free with Magars. Your Light Calf are very cheap. Max is abandoning the middle. Yo! He's just straight up giving up on the middle. Hera's not going to expect that. He's looking. So Max is going to... He's going to full boom on the outside and just stonewall all of this. And Velez is doing the same. But if Hera gets in, guys, if Hera gets any of these through, this is disastrous. Oh, man. And the thing is, Finland has the eco lead. This is why Chaos Pit is such an epic map, man. This is so freaking cool. I'm worried about that gate, by the way. Like, that is a lot of light cav. If that gate opens, Veleza will have set the task for his villagers the other way. This should never open, but it can. Oh, stress me out. If anything, Hera should attack the lumber camp. Wow. Hera just didn't take gold. And look at these random stables from Rubenstock. Also, what the... Hello? What is this? A secret gathering of two enemy forces that are looking to collude against their government? Like, what? Why is Mentalist there? And why was Rubenstock there too at the same time? What a find. What a find for Finland. That was super weird. Meet me at the spot where I'm spinning in a circle. We could talk about things later. What in the world? Okay, stone walls over here now for Veleza. You know, Mentalist is going to be like, guys, I kind of got to go check the outside right now. Hera is out, by the way. So he might have been here for a bit longer than maybe I picked up on. So he's got the gold there. Slam 2. Just now dropping the TCs. But Finland, while they haven't fully abandoned their area, they have, a pretty nice position on the outside. And this game will go late. Also, the sad news is this is probably going to be my last game casting the series, so I won't be able to finish the series because my buddy's got a birthday. But the good news is this is probably the best game and the one game from this series, which is like, it screams YouTube video, unique game all over it. Love this from Chris. Just the damage control needed here. And the villager opened the gate and he noticed it and left. And still Rubenstock's got a villager here. If you know Rubenstock, he could be very annoying. He's going to attempt to continue that. And remember, there's quite a decent amount of vision from Veleza on this area. And even had a couple spear just make sure that tower still stands. So there's a lot going on. Valis, he has kept Hera from breaking into his base. And Canada has essentially just given up on trying to break someone in the middle, which is crazy. Velez is just now about to hit Castle Age. He does have 52 villagers, which isn't far off from a couple of the Canadian players. And I imagine his resources are going to be insane. He might even drop 5 TCs. Like, he's got 900 wood. I guess stone will be the issue, but he'll have 200 stone. He'll be okay there. This is Slam. He just saw these spearmen here. And I think the knights are actually going to add up. I really think they will. I think this villager building TCs here is going to be such a pain because this game will go Imperial. If Rubenstock could form a little colony over here to spam Goth infantry later, big problems for Canada possibly. I like how Max is getting an upgrade in the blacksmith Hera's destroying. I like how Hera's tried to destroy a lot. But also, how has Max gotten through with random knights? Max must have had army here. And Hera's got to track that now. And Max has just split up these knights to different areas of the economies, hoping that one won't be found. And Hera tracks it all. He's a really good teammate here, right? Well. That'll be annoying to Slam. And he reacts to that. Random blue units. Slam somehow got a Huskarl through. So that's going to have to be dealt with. And Hera's still not through on this side. 106 villagers for Valis. We can see now why he cut army production. This was all part of the plan. He's got 40 more villagers than Hera. Also, a little siege monk push from Mentalist on this side. Hoping I can follow this game properly. There's a lot going on. I think Rubenstock could probably hold against this, and it's important that he does. Valis stonewalling just in case. And now, Mentalist trying to get more gold and expand. But there's knights here from Rubenstock. And more stonewalling from Veleza to ensure that there's no more expansion there. I mean, if you look at the outside, it's going to be a 60-40 situation in terms of gold control. And this is all with the fact that Valis is going to have a big imp army and a push that could go right to the middle soon. Like, Hera's not going imp anytime soon. If he gets flooded by cav archers here, look at all the eco he has. Look at all the eco his teammates have. Really important now that I think Chris does something. He's going to go cataphracts, it looks like. I don't know. But Chris is imping for Canada. This has been an awesome game. Rubenstock donates a knight there. Well played from Slam. Economy ahead for Finland. Yeah, don't click that link. I don't know if we have any mods. I can delete it. Thank you, chat. 375 eco versus 350. It's close. And then Canada's got the army, right? So the army can buy you time and bring you value in the long run. Not sure about Slam's army of skirmishers, but yeah. We have coinage now from Valis. And the tournament rules state that you can send resources to a teammate when you are an imp. That's the only time you can send resources in this tourney. And you can send it down too. So he could send it to a Castle Age player, which is what I assume he's going to do. I want to know if Canada has any clue Rubenstock's back there right now. I mean, maybe they think they killed the Vil there, but there's more. And there's barracks coming up too. That's going to be so annoying, man. We'll have Imp for Slam, who's getting Anarchy, so we can spam infantry. I'm trying to see where the resources are being sent. This is just the market for the individual players. If there are resources sent, I'll see it. And the Magyar player is going to go Cav Archers, which hypes me up because Magyar Cav Archers are so rarely seen. And they're very strong. Stable upgrades are needed. No Bloodlines just yet. And Hera's actually through. Hera's through. Talk about buying time. This is big. Big raids here. Castle for Valis. Could be denied. Echoes up. Echoes up. Hera's units will go down very quickly here now that Recurve Bow and Heavy Cav Archer is in. And there's a signal now from Mentalist. And they now see this. That Rubenstock is trying to build a base here. Or has started a base here. So I think Slam's going to try and put an end to this with this Huskarl spam. And he might. But we have a new TC for Rubenstock. He's not finished. Markets now for Veleza. So they're going to start to trade. They basically have control of 3 out of the 4 corners, right? So they have that potential. And Hera's being raided by Max. How is Max getting through? Well, he's just sent the knights right through. That's what he's doing. Also, beautiful little statue here. The knight is currently spending time. Hera is trying to give his respects. But, oh man, that must be so frustrating for Team Canada. That, like, you've been trying to break in and fight in the middle for so long, and they've said, no, we don't want to do that. And then they just, like, show up when you're least expecting it. The TC for Rubenstock still here, by the way. Still making some pikes. He has a new TC as well, so it looks like he'll stick around for a while. And then the Cav Archers over on this side, they're about to break through this wall. Like, that wall is going to go down really fast, and Mentalist is still in Castle Age. When I saw the... Still no... Oh, he's getting Bloodlines. Okay. When I saw, as Rubenstock's losing his main base, Finland fleeing the middle with half of their players, 2 of their best players, you could argue, I was like, what? Also, Siege Tower from Slam! He's over the wall! He's over the wall, and he could deny a castle. That's huge! Veleza didn't expect it. I think the castle will complete with quick walls, but dang. Finland have the lead in this game. It's been an epic series. All the previous games have been great. The whole series has been back and forth. 2 of the best teams in Nations Cup in 2023. And the Treb push for Chris is no more because there was some support there from Max. And Chris, trying to open with Cataphract, is a little ambitious. He was against Goths, though, so you can kind of understand it. But look at this. Hera's castle gets denied. And, I mean, the wall's going to get denied as well if Valis continues to move this way. And while the populations are still close, I'm still leaning more towards Finland based on how this is all playing out. Rubenstock is the most annoying little rat, and I say that in a good way, in this corner. You think you get rid of them all, and nope, he's back. And how are you going to trade right now? Like, all the gold income that you have right now at this stage of the game, you want to put into trade, ideally. You just cannot trade conveniently. You cannot siege tower trade, and you need a corner for efficient trade. Still random units from Slam, Mentalist, Chris, Hera, all trying to play catch-up here. But, I mean, how do you stop these army comps? Like, Hera's making... He's going to try and go Cav Archers. For now, I guess he's going to try some skirms. The Cataphracts are elite now for Veleza, and we know that Rex infantry. That was not the type of engagement that Chris was ever able to find. He made the Katas, was never engaging against infantry. Rubenstock still making more vills here. Still making more barracks. Mentalist is going to try and put a stop to this by just dropping a castle. But the Magyar Cav Archers with Recurve Bow, 7+5 attack. These are expensive upgrades, and they are also time-consuming to get to. And that's something Hera's trying to work his way through right now for his team. Max with Paladin now, by the way. So it's Paladin and Cav Archer here versus some inferior Cav Archers and Cataphracts. And the castle will go down for Chris eventually. Thankfully for him, he's Byzantines. And thankfully for Canada, they still have more army. A lot of that's Slam right now. It's just that Slam's got a lot of that here. I think they put a stop to it, though. Like, that's good. I think they will actually get rid of Rubenstock. But what if Rubenstock focuses on this side? Slam's got a lot of army over here, too. Rubenstock probably needs to go for his own Huskarls and or champions in this position. But, oh, God, now the Cataphracts are on Slam. Yeah, Valis has recurve bow. Sorry, I didn't answer that question. He's had full upgrades for a long time. So they're actually doing a moderately good job compared to other Cav Archers versus the Huskarls. Paladin, Cav Archer, running directly through the main eco of Chris. Chris has expanded a lot of that economy elsewhere, but his farming eco seems to be here. Same for Mentalist, same for Hera. The signal from Mentalist is to say we've got elite Cataphracts here. This is another problem. Rubenstock still got 2 villagers there. Just hiding with... You know, I'm really focused on that. Big run in here from Slam, but the castles are already set up here for Finland. And Cav Archer Paladin, that combination will beat Goths. And Slam has to be in so many different spots right now. Like, he's the only player that could actually really help them. Hera's got 50 army now, but that's 40 skirms, right? And when Paladins and Huskarls can be on the field, that's not what you want. And that's due to the lack of gold, right? He has 11 on gold. Look at the amount on gold for Max right now. 58. That's 25 trade cards and more on the way. There's some areas you could maybe squeak through some gold like this here, but then if it gets castled, how long is that going to last? And continuous push here from Valis. Such a sick player. And a great series. Lovely map. I think we need to see it more. I don't think we need a Chaos Pit Cup, but it's one of the best team game maps. I think it's way better in team games than it is 1v1s, having seen a lot of it. I will also edit in, maybe we'll put some links in the description of other Chaos Pit games for YouTube audience later on, because you guys probably are going to want more. One was brought up by someone at the start of the series. It was The Legend of Rubenstock way back in the day where they used a completely different strat. I mean, even the skirms are just getting chewed up here, right? Hera he can't come back from this. Now, the eco for Rubenstock, it's not great. He had a lot of it here. Actually, it's really bad. Like, he needs to get with it here and maybe ask for some resources or expand his economy. But his team currently is pushing. Somehow Canada's got more population, though. Canada's not going away. I'm just not seeing them winning an area back. I guess, like, this is the exception. Right through this area. This is where they can push. I'd like to see stone walls for Finland there. I think that they should recognize that possibility. I don't think Valis knows he's losing villagers right now to the Hussars from Mentalist, for example. It's just stabilize, stabilize, stabilize. Also, still villagers here from Rubenstock. Some of these players could lose villagers and be fine for Finland. For example, 159 total economy for Veleza with 25 trade cards. Max, he's fine too. The Castle Fire and the army that's collected here will eventually deal with some of this. This is it. This is your moment for Canada. This is the comeback time. You have 78 army for Chris, and you've got the trebuchets. Plus Hera is here, plus you also have Slam. Now, what you want from Max is you want 30 Paladins to arrive, and you can maybe hold this position. If that doesn't come, it could be problematic. You see he's here. Great job from Mentalist, by the way, getting into just random nooks and crannies, even getting revenge against Ruben. But Ruben is still spamming Huskarls into their base from 3 barracks. That's a great castle that we called for earlier, right? Just to block this off a little bit more. Hera's Cav Archers are running into double castle here. I think he clicked them over here and they're pathing awkwardly. I don't truly know. Like, maybe he sees some stuff too, but he's focused here. He's losing his eco right now. This is not pretty. Here is Chris on his own. Oh, no, he's not on his own. Hera's still there. But we have Veleza still pushing Slam on the other side, and Slam just can't be everywhere, man. Slam has had a really good game, all things considered. He got towered, he got walled out from the gold. But he just can't do it alone. Good finds from Hera in the end from the Cav Archers. Here come the Cav Archers from Valis. Paladins from Max are coming in as well. You won't see these castles go down most likely because the Cav Archers will find the Treb kills or the Paladins will soon after. Those Cav Archers are in the most annoying spot possible, but they'll probably eventually go down. Rubenstock still spamming random units from the barracks he has left. Finland take the population lead. Slam is losing his flank here. But just losing his base. He's going to lose his whole eco soon. And again, there's no trade for Canada. But Canada still has 100 more army. And I was wrong. The castle does go down here. Again, this is where you need, like, ideally, Chris, or if from Finland's position, you have the Cav Archers versus these Halbs, and then you have the Paladins versus the Skirms. And that's actually just what happened. Just as I was saying that. And then Paladin Cav Archer is better than just, like, the trash counter units. What a game. What a great game. This is a really fun one. I think, like, Canada has looked so well prepared for every map in this tourney. It's really going to be good for them that they had this game. Because, remember, win or lose this series, the losing team still is alive in this tournament and goes to the loser's bracket. And they're probably favorites to make their way to the grand final as well. But I think due to that, obviously, if Canada win the next 2 games and then win this whole series, and they also learn this lesson and have some things to tweak on this map in the future, I think that's really good for their team. But now look at the eco count. The GGs are called. Canada taps out. And Finland go up 3-2 here in this winners final. Again, winner here moves on to the grand final. And they will start the series with 1 win. But man, what a great game. They fully abandoned their base, man. They had to work so hard, Finland, to keep Hera out. Hera's start was so good. Like, there was like 30 or 40 scouts, and there was spears, there was towers. Canada tried everything to break through, and they just said, come on in. But when we're ready, right? I timed that so nicely. I'll tell you what happens in most situations. Now, we know this, seeing the army and whatnot, to be a bad thing. But normally what happens is you realize you're going to lose this section of your eco. You wall up, you add more TCs. You just write off this eco as a war expense, okay? You say, those 10 or 15 villagers or 20 villagers, whatever, I'll collect what I can with them, and then they will eventually die. But to flee with everything you can, it made sense. It was like they waited till the last possible moment, too, and they had an eco lead because of that. And I think a really important part, by the way, it was Rubenstock sneaking through. I think Rubenstock sneaking through and being able to distract Mentalist and distract Slam and distract whoever was huge. Because there was a point in this game where Slam had a massive score for Canada. There were no elite cataphracts. And Slam would have pushed somewhere. But instead, he just had to deal with freaking annoying Rubenstock. Like, look at all the military that's here. We have... how many military units? Is it like 15? 20? And again, my point is that's population that could maybe be elsewhere. Rubenstock opened up some opportunities for his teammates with that. So, unfortunately, guys, I am going to head off. I have something planned. I won't be able to cast the last 2 games of the series, which sucks for me. It's very unique for me to not be able to finish it. But reality is I got to have some personal life sometime. You guys are probably like, personal life? What does that do for me? What does that do for my personal life? T90, but yeah, we'll for the video's sake have a spoiler here on who won this series, and we'll at least like include the first forecasts on the extras channel in the description too. But yeah, Chaos Pit is awesome. I want to see more of it. The early stages of Nations Cup didn't actually have a lot of this map. It was banned out a lot, and this was just a perfect game.